Well. Welcome, welcome, you all, to another episode of F Your Feelings Friday. I'm your melanated queen and your hostess, LilFoxi, aka Seven Wonder. Okay, I hope you all have had a wonderful, lovely week this week. You all, today has been a vigorous day for me. I don't know about the rest of you. I am hot. I am on the verge of sweating, to be honest with you. And I must say, I've had a very adventurous week. Okay. And with all that said, we are going to get into top reasons to just say F it, y'all. It's F Your Feelings Friday. I wanted to come on and address you all before now, but I have been busy. I have been tired. I have needed rest, you all. Today's topic is about gremlins, goblins, and robbers, okay? And we're going to get into it about why people act as if they cannot be civilized. What is really going on in the world out here? We just don't know, you all. I'm trying to figure it out. I don't understand it. Ich verstehe nicht, okay? I understand it not. That's how you say it auf Deutsch or in German. You all, I cannot. I tried to beautify myself a little bit for you all, but I did not have time to do my hair, y'all. Just washed it. And you know how that is. Hair with flair. We want to get into manifesting. So I want to do something a little special today. I'm going to light a candle. And we're going to light this candle in honor and affirmation of our manifestations, you all. I don't know where everybody's at today. I hope y'all come on and join me, though. Y'all know it's time from F Your Feelings Friday. Where y'all go? I'm going to send this link out, you all. So, like, share, and subscribe, if you will. You know what I mean? I would definitely appreciate that. You all, you know how we do. We go over the day's topics. We say we're going to join hands, bow our heads. And what else are we going to do? We're going to give thanks. That's what we're going to do. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get this done. What's good, Black Revolutionary? Power and peace to you, Mr. Melanated King. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for being in the building. I appreciate the RBG. You know what I'm saying? Red for the blood, black for the people, green for the land. Every day, all day, hashtag no days off. Let's go ahead, bow our hands and bow our heads, join our hands and give thanks, you all. Dearly beloved, we're gathered here today. That's what Prince said, right? But anyway, y'all, we are gathered here today just giving thanks in honor of the fact that we are still here. We made it through another week. We made it to F Your Feelings Friday, you all. We have, all the necessities of life. We give thanks for the breath in our body, okay? The fuel in our gas tanks, and I'm going to get on that in a minute. And the nourishment that we have in the food that we eat. We give thanks, you all, that we have the ability to walk, to see, to think, to use the faculty of our limbs. We are of sound judgment and of sound mind. We give thanks to our ancestors, our spiritual warriors that have guided us here today. And without any further ado, we're also going to give thanks to our haters, you all, because without our haters, yeah, you know what I'm saying? We wouldn't be the celebrities that we are right now. So shout out to you, Black Revolutionary. You're welcome. You and I do appreciate you as well. Okay. I thank you greatly for that. All right, y'all. I guess I can come on and come on to the camera a little bit, let you see what I'm looking like, y'all. Hope you like my whole display and setup. I worked on it for a while. I want to talk about these freaking gas prices. Why in the world did I just pay $4.50 the other week for gas? You know, I said years ago I would never pay $3 for gas. I said if I had to pay $3 for gas, I was going to walk. And I meant that literally. I really meant that. Yeah, I ended up spending $4.50 for freaking gas. Ridiculous. Every time they want to play games with the politics, we have to pay in gas prices, and I'm tired of it. Next on the agenda, we're going to talk about this 82-year-old lady that was attacked, okay, by a robber, a goblin, and a gremlin. And I want to talk about the freaking lady, the gremlin goblin, okay, that climbed through the drive-through window, all in the name of ranch sauce, you all, ranch dressing. He said, you love the haters for sure. They make us grind us even more. You know what I'm saying? What's up with that? And you said, I know the gas is way out of control. It is. What are the gas prices like where you all are located? That's what I'm curious to know because I just don't understand it. Hold on one second, y'all. I'm going to get my phone for a minute. But I got to share this live, you all. You know, people act like they don't know when to pull up, where to pull up. They know it's F Your Feelings Friday. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. The gas is way too high. They need to cut it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what they think this is, but obviously we already know what it is. They're trying to bankrupt the economy straight like that. You know what it is. Now, I've had an interesting day today with real estate. We did another walkthrough on the client's beautiful house, and I'm very happy about this lovely couple. I got a chance to work with them, and they should be moving in very soon, and we're supposed to close. So I am excited about that, you all. It's a beautiful home. Their house actually backs up to the lake, and I am thankful and grateful that I am the procuring cause of the deal, you all. Okay, so it is your real estate queen right here. Shouts out to me. You have to do that. Oh yes, and we got a new club going on, y'all. Excuse me, clear my throat a little bit. We got a new club going on. Okay, shouts out to me. Join the CEO club with BGAB right here, okay? Yeah, join me for an episode of F Yo Feelings Friday, okay? Act like y'all don't know. Pull up, okay? I gotta let these people know because they act like they don't remember me. Yeah, I haven't even been on Instagram all day. So please excuse me. I'm getting messages, and so I don't have time to check this stuff. For real, I don't. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I'll go send it out anyway to those that would love to join me. So that's what I'm doing right now, y'all. All right, Black Revolutionary, let me see what you're talking about in the chat. I know the gas is okay, so we read that. So damn high. I don't even look anymore. I just pump and go. Because you know why? You know why you don't look? Because if you looked, guess what would happen? You probably would be upset. And I hate it. Like, I hate paying that amount for gas. It's like, but where I live, like, I have to have transportation. I just cannot walk to the store. I can't. Now, where I used to live, I could have walked to the store. You know what I'm saying? I could have literally walked across the street and went grocery shopping. We did that one time in the snow. But I can't do that where I reside right now. So this is why I purchased gas, y'all. Unfortunately. We're going to get into all of that, though. So proud of you and never had a doubt in what you manifest on a daily. Thank you. Oh, we're going to do a manifestation today. I got my candle right here. We're going to light it and burn it, y'all. Yes, you get mad. I certainly do. I get upset. I get infuriated. I be disgusted, okay? Y'all, I was so hungry earlier. I came home, I cooked, okay? I had a nice dish that I fixed and it was yeah, everybody just you know what I'm saying, stop the paparazzi right here. We got crazy manipulation apparel in the building. I just want to give a special shout out to you. I love what you're doing. You know, I took a look at your page. This person right here, this melanated queen, has a clothing brand and it's called Crazy Manipulation Apparel. Please check her out. She's on Instagram and she's doing some beautiful things. I think she said she started her brand in 2016. And you know, the quality of the work is wonderful. I think she's an artiste. She does a lot of different things. She's very creative, you know. And so when I heard her story, I just wanted to share that. So welcome, Miss Crazy Manipulation Apparel. Welcome to the CEO Club over here. Okay, everybody that we are associating with, we are like-minded people, business-minded people. And you know what I'm saying? We just basically trying to get to this bag, if you will. Okay. But yes, get the gas perks. It helps out. I don't know if gas perks can help me out. I gotta put premium in the bed. You know what I'm saying? My car takes premium. What am I supposed to do? I can't use regular gas, y'all. My engine might start knocking, and we don't want those problems. But my dish was wonderful, y'all. I had this cauliflower meal that I fixed. I put red, yellow, and orange peppers in it. What else did I have? And I seasoned it very well. I also use pesto sauce, Priana. You all, you only can get this pesto sauce that I know of from Aldi's. Y'all can't be telling y'all all my special ingredients, okay? And I put a little brown sugar in it. You know what I'm saying? And I got the tortellini noodles. Like, yeah, check out my y'all. I don't eat meat, but I'm telling you, the meat ingredients, the meat-free ingredients that I use, y'all gonna love my dishes. They taste so good. You are welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. He said, "Oh Lord," and yes, hey, absolutely. All right, y'all. I guess I'll come on camera. I don't know. It's not enough people in the building for me, but I might just come on and say hi so y'all can see what I look like. Because I tried to fix myself up as best as I could today. But like I said, I washed my hair and I had to go meet my clients today at the freaking walkthrough. Okay. So, you know, my hair flared up because it's actually air drying, y'all. So please bear with me. Why not? You don't want to share the love for us to eat, right? Sure, I'll share the love. I will share the love. And you can also, you know, subscribe if you'd like to my Patreon. I'm going to do a lot of behind the scenes footage with what I be doing with Brown Girls Are Beautiful and real estate. You all, I do have a real estate page. If you want to check that out, it's t.gresh_realty. I'll put it in the chat if you want to holler at me on there. And I'm also on TikTok and Instagram on t.gresh_realty. Okay. So if you ever, you know what I'm saying, get froggy, go ahead and leap, y'all. Anyway, let me stop, y'all. I do have a goofy side, as you can tell. All right. I'll come on, you know, say hi in person. And you said, there you go. Yes. This is what I'm looking like today, y'all. You know, please excuse it. Actually, you know, it's not that bad. I had a whole different ensemble on. Y'all was so hot. I had to come up out of that mess. It is actually in the 70s where I am right now. And inside it says that it's 77 degrees. I have turned the heat off. I meant to turn the heat off earlier. I'm burning up, y'all. I don't want to turn on the air conditioner. I opened the door, okay? But I don't want to make myself sick from the night air. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is. He said, not at all. Yeah, we're gonna get into it. Yeah, I got a video I want to share. Okay, so we're gonna share this video because we're gonna talk about gremlins, goblins and robbers. Why do people act like they're uncivilized? I don't know, but we're gonna find out why. All right, we're gonna find out why. So I'm gonna go ahead and share this video with y'all. I want you to tell me, what do you think about this nonsense? Share your screen because sharing is caring. All right, so let's go ahead and look at this video. We're going to check out, why do people want to act uncivilized in today's time? I don't even know, y'all. All right, So, y'all let me know if you hear an echo, please. Thank you if you will. And let me know if you can see my screen.
Wayfair has everything I need to make my
please. Okay. Skip the commercials because we ain't trying to hear all that. F your feelings. All right. So hopefully you should be able to see the screen in a second if you don't see it. Okay. All right. So already you see the title. Bodybuilder age 82. Okay. Fights a break-in suspect. Y'all, this is not even a joke. Like, this is reality. Let's go ahead and play it.
I will give you a second to press the record button on your remote because you're going to want to save this story. Police say an intruder broke into a Rochester woman's home late last night. Now, the woman lives alone, admits she was scared. But as Andrew Banis explains, the intruder quickly learned he was no match for the 82-year-old inside.
A crowd gathered around 82-year-old Lily Murphy at the Maplewood YMCA today, all of them captivated as Murphy shares the story of what she experienced Thursday night. A man knocked on the door to her home.
He was outside saying, please call the ambulance because I'm sick.
Murphy said she called police, but didn't let the man inside. Suddenly,
I hear a loud noise, and I'm saying to myself, what the heck is that? The young man is in my home. Broke the door.
She tried not to panic. After all, she spends most of her days doing this. An award-winning weightlifter who just won a competition earlier this year.
I'm alone, and I'm old, but guess what? I'm tough.
She says she grabbed a nearby table.
I took that table, and I went to working on him, and guess what? The table broke.
The man fell to the floor.
When he's down, I'm jumping on him.
When officers arrived minutes later, it wasn't Murphy who needed medical attention.
He's laying down already because I had really did a number on that man.
The suspect, who police say was intoxicated, was taken to the hospital. Murphy is not pressing charges. Today, she's cheered on by her friends at the gym. Some even taking selfies with her. Ray John Sells says he hopes the suspect learned a lesson.
She is the wrong person to mess with.
Jim Marin has been friends with her for over a decade. He's not surprised Murphy held her own.
I probably weigh close to twice as much as her. I wouldn't want to tango with her. Don't mess with Willie.
Don, I wouldn't mess with her. That's
I love it. I love it.
For the record, she told me she can deadlift 225 pounds, which is a lot more than me. And she hopes her story will inspire others of all ages.
Yeah. Did you do a little arm wrestling with her?
I did not want to embarrass myself because I surely would have.
And she just likes to work out, as she said. She just wants to keep in shape.
Yeah, that's it. She just wants to be healthy. It's a passion of hers, and she continues to go. She's been going there for almost a decade to that YMCA almost every single day. She's very well known there.
All right, gotta love it. All right, if you didn't roll,
Now you all.
Happy birthday, Shantae.
I must say, shout out to that lady right there for holding her own at the age of 82 years old. You all, she fought off an attacker and intruder. What is wrong with people today? Breaking into the homes of 80-year-old people. Yes, you said just like you sharing your good eating recipes. You are welcome. Beautiful story, Black excellence. Hey, shout out to that woman, man. Did you see her little muscles on her arms, y'all? She can fight, she can lift weights. This gives me encouragement, you all. So I have another story I want to share with you. I don't know if you've all seen this one, but it made me think of this other story. I'm going to look it up for you about this other lady. And she's in her 70s. So y'all be saying, oh yeah, old, when you get old, blah, blah, blah. It's all in about how you take care of yourselves, y'all. And this lady, shout out to her. I'm going to find it. 70-year-old. Let me see if I can find her, because if I show you this story, you're going to know exactly who I'm talking about if you have seen the story before. And when I saw her, you know what I told myself? This is how I want to be if I get that age. I don't want to be in a wheelchair. I don't want to have diabetes, high blood pressure, all these things that they keep diagnosing us with. They keep telling us that it runs in our family. Y'all, it's really about how you take care of yourselves. So I'm going to share this other story with you. And hopefully, what's good, Sabrina? Hopefully you all can bear witness, okay, to what healthy eating does for you. So when people be looking at me like, oh, you don't eat meat, you don't eat this, you don't eat that, this is why, y'all, I want to be like these women when I get older, you know, if the universe grants me to do so. Let me share this screen. Y'all, we about to bear witness, okay? We about to have a testimony today in church. So here we go. All right, hopefully you can see my screen.
People age, they
Oh yeah.
to preserve their appearance, and a Florida woman says she has found the fountain of youth.
News Channel 5's Tanya Rogers joins us now with this special report. Tanya?
Well, Jane, Jan, and I have had several people ask me, how old is she? She is a grandmother, and she's eligible for a senior citizen discount. Her quest started because she wanted to feel healthy and have lots of energy, but she has reaped more benefits than she anticipated.
And here we have some ginger.
Annette Larkins shows off her garden in her Miami-Dade County backyard. It's full of fruits and vegetables. Every corner of her garden has something that is edible.
And I've been eating them, and they're so good.
She also collects rainwater to drink and water her plants. Annette says the food in her garden is her fountain of youth.
I'm very vibrant. I have lots of energy, as I told you before. I'm up at no later than 5:30 in the morning as a rule, and I'm ready to go.
Annette's husband owned a meat store in the 1960s. That's when she became a vegetarian. But as the years went by, she became a raw vegan. She does not eat any animal products. Her food is unprocessed and uncooked.
My diet consists of fruits, nuts, vegetables, and seeds. I do a lot of sprouting of seeds. And as you can see from my garden, of course, these are the raw foods that I eat.
Annette also juices fruits and veggies. You name it, she can juice it. Grapefruits, pineapples, even spinach. But not everyone in the Larkins family eats and drinks this way. Annette's husband of almost 54 years chose to continue to eat the way he did when they were first married.
I really wish I would have did what she's done.
Amos Larkin says people even wonder if Annette is his wife.
They'll ask me, what am I doing with a young girl? Or they'll say, you got your granddaughter with you, you know, and things like that, you know.
Amos takes prescription medicines daily for high blood pressure and diabetes. Annette says she doesn't even take an aspirin. Because friends and strangers kept asking her questions about her health and youthful appearance, she decided to publish 2 Journey to Health booklets, and she produced the DVD 12 years ago.
Discovery Channel, they took sections of the booklet and translated them into Spanish, which, by the way, is my second language.
So how old is this size 4 beauty? Annette just turned 70 years old.
This one lady who is my age, she said, you know, she was telling her friend that I used to tell them about eating and they wouldn't listen. And her reply was to that, or her response to that was, look at her now and look at us.
She's an amazing person, though. Oh, man. I mean, really, she do everything. I mean, build computers. Oh, she's make all her own clothes, grow her own food, speak 3 languages. You know, it's amazing.
Now, Annette has been eating completely raw for 27 years. And we want to remind everyone, no matter how old you think she really looks, she changed her lifestyle to feel better and have a good quality of life.
Y'all, look who just, y'all, let me hurry up and get off the screen. Oh my God. Anyway, when I saw this story, I was like, oh my goodness, y'all. And I think that was posted like 4 years ago. So she's probably even older than that, but I was amazed when I saw her. And I was like, this is, you know, something that I should share with other people, because really, like how you treat yourself when you're younger, it does play a major impact into when you get older. So, and I see y'all typing in the comment section. Let's see. You said your food choices and physical activity or lack of is so important, very important. And I need to get more active. What's good to the Queen, Maki right there. All right. And peace and love to you, Sabrina, and Crazy Manipulation Apparel, Black Revolutionary. Taylor said, yes, type of food you eat or choose to eat makes a big difference on your body. Eating bad versus eating healthy shows you're different. That's right. That's right. Yeah. So anyway, moving right along, we're gonna go into. I want to get into why do people act like gremlins? Okay, because the title of this right here was Gremlins, Robbers, and Goblins, I believe. And now if you haven't heard about this story, I'm going to share my screen because we want to know why are females crawling through the drive-through window, all in the name of ranch dressing you all. Okay, now take a look at this mess right here. This is straight freaking embarrassing. I must say it. It's embarrassing.
How she got in there?
Let me know if y'all hear an echo.
They get that ranch. Did she climb through the window? She didn't climb through the window. Did she climb through the window? She climbed through the window. Oh, oh, wait.
Doesn't want to make my right? Right? Call the police. Because I'm not getting back out here until you call the police. Call the police. Just treat me your call the police. 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 You're racist and you're wasting my time. Call the police. Black Lives Matter. Call the police. I'm not gonna hit anybody. Shut the fuck up, you guys. Call the police. Make my pop. Call my adult. Oh yeah, you're racist. So I'll make my own coffee. I'll make my own coffee. Here's your $2. You stupid racist.
And she's inside. So.
I'm inside making my coffee like you always told me to. You stupid. Fuck your guys all up. Stupid. Keep filming. I have you on camera being racist. Okay. You stupid. Okay. Now we'll never come back here. That's stupid now. You guys are racist. Shut the up. You guys think I'm like, you think it's a joke, right? But you're racist and you're uneducated. You're uneducated.
Y'all. I gotta run this back, okay? Because this one took the cake when she climbed in through the freaking drive-through window over some ranch dressing. So let's play this again.
She got in there. They get that ranch. Did she climb through the window? She didn't climb through the window. Did she climb through the window? She climbed through the window. Oh, mommy.
Now let's stop right there, okay? Because I think we've seen enough. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna come on camera for this. It's ridiculous, y'all. Let me see what y'all are saying in the comment section. Woo, y'all, I can't. You said you remember seeing a meme of an 84-year-old lady who was into fitness and healthy eating, looked like she was in her 30s. That's great. Yeah. So healthy. Yeah. Health is wealth. Health is definitely wealth. I blew up the screen, BRN. I blew it up. Yeah, she does realize that cops do things to people, but she's acting like a fool. Like they would have had every reason to call the police on her at that point because she went on to what is that called? When you're causing chaos and public disturbance. I mean, basically they could have gotten her for vandalism when she started knocking over everything in the store. I haven't worn a mask in 2 years, and if a business required a mask, I just wouldn't go there. I cannot understand it. It's nonsense, Sabrina. Complete and utter nonsense. And that was a lot. Some black folks just need to go. They ain't us. She's definitely lost and asking for attention. Right. Right. Absolutely. So, y'all, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, man. I'll drop the link if y'all want to you know what I'm saying, come up here. If you don't, that's fine too. But I don't understand the magnitude of what's going on here. Okay. Why are we climbing through the freaking drive-through window? Okay. What does that say about your home training? How is this a representation of us as a people? Y'all are making us look bad. Y'all, brown girls are beautiful, cannot stand behind this, okay? I'm sorry. I know I say that brown girls are beautiful and we're walking in our divinity over here, but there was nothing divine about what we just saw just now on that camera. There's no reason why you have climbed, okay, over the drive-through window, barefooted, must I say, barefooted, ready to fight, getting in employees' faces, okay, and challenging them over ranch dressing. Then you want to climb back through the drive-through window, twerk on the drive-through counter, and get back in the car. Then you got this idiot behind the camera phone cheering this on. What's going on with people? Why are people cheering this type of behavior on? They're just as bad as the culprit, okay? The people that endorse this behavior and holler world star and they sit up here and endorse this nonsense, they are just as bad as the people doing it. That's how I feel about it. I don't know how y'all feel, but that's how I feel. No, and it's not that serious. Like ranch dressing, I could see if somebody had called her out of her name, maybe threw something at her, physically tried to assault her. They didn't, none of that. She was mad about ranch dressing. So does her actions seem justified because they forgot her ranch dressing? You know how many times I've been through the drive-through and they forget all types of stuff, napkins, ketchup packets, you know what I'm saying, sauces. But do I go over the drive-through window and start threatening people? Yeah, I saw one girl. She was about my size, okay? Very petite. Looked like she barely weighed 100 pounds. Stood on the freaking countertop at the drive-through, y'all. At the restaurant. She got on top of the countertop and she basically challenged the people to do something to her. And I'm thinking to myself, do you know these people can literally pick your little self up, okay, if they wanted to, and slam you? Like, why are you doing this? What type of attention did you not receive when you were growing up as a child? And does it have to result? These people are the people that need counseling. Okay? Because this is ridiculous. No, it's and then I want to say this. Why is there always a dude walking around and not saying anything? Like we saw on that last clip when that girl got irate when she was talking to the Middle Eastern people. There was a dude with her and he didn't even try to calm her down. Nobody tried to calm her down. So what? I don't understand it, y'all. I just can't get my mind around why people act this way. It's embarrassing. It says the white supreme thugs with badges already have an agenda to kill us, and you want to give them a reason now. This is exactly why things happen the way they do. Because when you show these video clips, they're going to try to justify themselves and say, look how she was acting. She was being erratic. She was being irate and belligerent, and we felt threatened. Okay? Because that what we're seeing, they're displaying threatening behavior, you all. It's ridiculous. That's the only way I can put it. Anyway, let's go on. Okay. So did you all hear about The alleged queen, y'all. Queen Elizabeth. They claim that she has passed away. Now, does anybody feel sorry for hearing that news? I certainly don't. And it has come to my attention that she could have possibly had COVID a few weeks ago. I don't know if you all heard about that or not. Not that I really care, but allegedly the queen is dead. I never did consider her the queen. I never thought she was a queen. I don't really care. But you know what I'm saying? They said that she had a COVID diagnosis. So I'm going to share my screen and we're going to dive a little bit deeper into why they're telling us this. I really don't know. So let's go ahead and listen to what they had to say about this shapeshifter. Y'all know I did hear she was a shapeshifter, you all. Okay. So here it is right here. It says Queen Elizabeth remains a concern 3 days after COVID-19 diagnosis. She was diagnosed with COVID, y'all. She's alive with a phone call to Boris Johnson after the death report. This is some nonsense. Look, I've never seen people live so long in my life. Her and all of them. Like, do you remember how long it took the Rockefeller dude, David Rockefeller, to pass away? I don't understand it, but I heard that these people be getting like organ transplants from melanated beings, you all.
Live and well.
Look at her. Does this look like the face of a queen? Does this look like the face of a philanthropist, like they like to call her? Not to me, maybe to you all. But look at this. She would scare me if I were to see her in person.
Rumors that she passed away, and we've got the details on an embarrassing story between Rosie O'Donnell and Priyanka Chopra. Hey guys, it's Jason for Hollywood Life with your news and entertainment. Congratulations are in order for Jennifer Lawrence and her husband Cook Maroney, who are officially.
Who is that? I don't know. I don't care. Rosie O'Donnell. Y'all, I was just trying to see what they were saying about the queen. Okay, the alleged queen or whatever. You know, that I heard that she was dethroned. Then there was Meghan Markle. They said that she was next up to bat. Y'all, all of this is smoke and mirrors. I really believe that they are telling us all of this as a distraction. I think that a lot that's going on behind the scenes that we're not privy to, especially with Putin and Russia, y'all. I think a lot of this is a distraction for what's predestined to come, because you all know they want to try to get us into another war, right? Uh-oh, we got somebody wanting to come on here. Sorry, I'm just now seeing you. What's good? OC? Tank. I hope I'm pronouncing that. Oh, I say it's you. How are you?
Peace and love to you. How are you?
I am doing wonderful. Nice to see you, King. I say my apologies.
Yeah. That's okay. You know what I mean? I'm a Black revolutionary now. You know, that's me. So, hey, that's what's up. You know, just showing some love.
Shout out to Veracity in the building, y'all. It's Veracity TV all day, every day. Want to give a special shout out to him. Thank you for pulling up. Don't care and good riddance. That's how I feel, Sabrina. Good riddance. Reptilian blood. All right. So I say, nice to have you. Thank you for joining me on the panel. You know what I'm saying? Your words of insight are always welcomed here.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You know, I had to show some love, and I gotta help you build this, you know, movement we're doing. And like, we can't do it alone, right? So we need all the help we can. So we gotta, you know, inspire and encourage each other every single day. So, I mean, that's what's up.
Yeah. Well, you know, the floor is yours. So if there's any topic you wish to delve into, you know, I'm all open ears. I tell everyone you're like a walking history book. And anytime I need to reference, you know what I'm saying? I just know to hit you up.
No, it's just, you know, whatever you want to build on. I mean, the Russia thing is, I mean, you know, like I see it coming already, because people don't understand that. Well, we all know what NATO actually stands for, right? So NATO is basically an organization was formed by United States, Britain, and a few other countries, Canada as well, to kind of form a union to kind of keep an eye on Russia, and a lot of people don't even know that. And what Putin is actually doing, because United States is actually trying to get the Ukraine. So he's trying to take it over. So we have to understand the reason why. And they have been slowly, since the Berlin Wall has been went down, whatever, they have been slowly trying to get countries to join NATO. So right, and they be pushing north. So Putin say you're not gonna have the Ukraine. So that's why he basically want to take that country, because they're getting closer to Russia. So they realize if they get close to Russia and take the take the Ukraine, that whole, like, I mean, they're gonna have a full power over Russia. So we have to understand this is like years in the making. So we have to understand. So all these other countries, I mean, in the so-called Soviet Union, have joined the NATO, which is a so-called democratic run countries. So they have puppets based on what the Americans and them say. And so we have to understand. And they had troops and stuff by the border. So that's why, at the Russian border. So that's why Putin have to do it. So we have to know the backstory going back for years, because people think, oh yeah, and I mean, like, he's crazy and he just started a war, whatever. No, because look at what America have been doing for at least like 30 years in that region. So we have to understand the history first before we jump out the window and say something. Like, I mean, we never get the backstory in what the Americans and the European doing, because they throw some stones and have to hide their hand, and they always kind of want to look like them is the one who trying to make peace, and them is the one who is it never did nothing wrong, whatever. So we have to look at the history behind that. So
Okay. Well, let me ask you this. Well, Sabrina had brought up, she said, I'm interested in your opinion on the U.S. biolabs in Ukraine and how Putin is bombing the biolabs.
I read up a little bit on that, like the biolabs, what exactly they are producing.
I'm not familiar with that. I don't watch the news. I stop. My ear is to it, but my ear is not to it, because it's such.
Yeah, same here. Because sometimes, I mean, there's so much, there's so much information out there, and sometimes, we kind of, I kind of cater to what concern us like the most, like, you know what I'm saying? So I try to, like, we have to listen to everything, and we have to kind of think, well, we know now that when you look at this criminal white supremacist, the doctor there who won in the whole show, who's running the whole show with a whole C thing that's going on right now.
FAUCCI.
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about. What's his name?
Fauci, the leprechaun.
Yeah. He's the one, because I mean, if you watch an interview, I've been going on for weeks, like even like a month ago, you had Rand Paul who was drilling him, and we actually got to find out that he actually admitted that they were funding, and they actually created that C, so-called agenda, whatever. So we have to understand. I mean, we can't pit nothing like past these people, and so if he's doing that, I mean, we don't know what's in those labs, whatever. And at the end of the day, I mean, this is white people against white people. This is another white on white crime. I mean, let me get it straight. Like, you know what I'm saying? And we just in the middle of it.
We are. I agree.
Right.
And I think that's why I hadn't, honed in 100% to it, because like you said, we got to focus on what directly impacts us as a people, impacts us on an everyday life situation. And what I'm talking about is these gas prices are too high. And I think that's a result of what's going on because of them. And every time they get into it, we have to pay the price in the inflation. The economy goes up, the interest rate goes up. It affects home buyers. It affects all of us on many different levels. And it's very unfair that we as a people suffer the most. You know what I'm saying? And they don't care because these people all have these underhanded dealings behind the scenes that we don't know about. Then they come to the news and tell us one story and want us to parade around with the narrative and the story that they give us. They do it every time they go to war. And they want us to basically support their agenda and their narrative. And I just can't get with it, you all. I didn't agree when they had the Iraq 2003. I thought that was some nonsense. That's just my opinion.
True. I truly, I truly believe that. So, and we have to take another thing and look at it. We have to remember that, everything what goes on in this will actually concern us, and it is our business. And the reason why I say that, because we are the first people on the planet. So white supremacists, right? These white supremacists here, they will destroy the world to gain power. We have to understand that first. And until we get back to our rightful place, then we won't have this chaos in what we call this world today, because we understand and we see right now what's going on with these people who's controlling the world, right? Because we are not like that. We whatever we've been through and we're still going through, we just don't have that demeanor to destroy it. White people, their dominance of control, they don't really care about anything about just having power. And I mean, power is something that feeds the greed of these people, and they will do anything. They don't care about no family, because that's what white supremacy is built on. And don't feel white supremacy is just in America and Canada, Russia, like everywhere. We have to remember these people that speak a different language. Like, I mean, I don't chop up white people. I don't group to say white people, like chop them up and say, oh yeah, you're Russian, you're French, you're Spanish, whatever. You all the same. They just speak a different language. They're doing the exact same thing. I mean, look at France, what they're doing to 14 African countries right now.
What? So elaborate.
They're squeezing.
What are they doing to Africa?
They're squeezing colonial taxes on 14 African countries. They have to pay post-colonial taxes just to have their freedom. And France, one country, France, I think is like $5 billion a year off of 14 African countries. So we have to understand. I mean, I have no time to dice these people up, and these so-called small hats, whatever. Them is the same cracker to me. Okay, they just speak a different language, and I mean, I don't look at them in any way. Oh yeah, they might sound cute in a British accent or a French accent or a Canadian accent. I don't give a damn. You are the same cracker to me. Like, I mean, I ain't got no time. We get confused because, oh yeah, they're different and they over there, whatever. So when we see this conflict going on, another moment playing out in history of white and white crime, right? The American Revolution War, white and white crime, right? The American Indian War, white and white crime. In the Civil War, white and white crime, we get involved. World War I, white and white crime. The War of 1812, white and white crime. So we understand white people have went to war with each other and killed themselves more than anything else. So when people talk about Chicago or Baltimore or New York and the crime over cases with us, whatever, we have circumstance. Like, I ain't saying it's right, but we have definitely circumstance. I mean, when we are denied access to education, jobs, and all kind of stuff. So we have to understand, they just want power, and they just have this entitlement and privilege, and they will fight each other, and we got to remember, before they even come and kidnap us, whatever, and enslave us, they were fighting themselves and killing each other. So we have to understand how these people operate, and how these people think. So
it's just very disheartening, that we are all affected by this nonsense and this madness. And I'm seeing that Sabrina said that she watched a documentary last night about the Congo. It was heartbreaking seeing children working 12 hours a day for pennies, y'all. That is ridiculous. And it says the American media is
anybody, if you don't know the history on the Congo, with Leopold and what he did for 22 years, over killing over 10 million people, and they have chopped off the hand of little children and a lot of people in the Congo. And it's funny because Belgium right now have a chocolate, I think it's called the chocolate hand, basically mocking what they did in the Congo. They have a chocolate hand that was inspired by them, by cutting off our people hands, in the Congo, because when they were getting the rubber, whatever, they wasn't making a quota. So when did they make the quota, whatever, or to try to run away, they end up getting the hand cut off. So we have to understand that, right? And it's sorry?
No, go ahead.
Yeah, and that's Leopold. And sorry, no, I thought you were saying something.
Oh no, I was just saying, I was gonna ask, what were you saying? I know I watched this was a few years ago. I watched on Netflix, I watched the Blood Diamonds documentary, and I saw exactly what they went through digging for diamonds. And so over here we get the narrative that's perpetuated that, if you have diamonds, you're supposed to be of a upper echelon, but like, what did you go through to get these diamonds? Like, people literally get killed and lose their lives over those diamonds. And then they come over here and, they make makeshift diamonds. They grow diamonds in a lab. They sell them at an inflated rate. So this is why you pay thousands upon thousands of dollars for diamonds, when they're actually plundering it from Africa and have people over there literally losing their lives to mine these diamonds to bring it over here. And I just think it's crazy and ridiculous. And that's just like, even with the flat screen TVs, all of these laptops, these computers, any electronic device that you have, those black screens that they use, that comes from Africa, and they go through a lot just to basically manufacture those screens so that we can use it over here. A lot of the things that we get, are from the material that is used is from Africa.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, the material is called coltan or cobalt. That's the material they use, and 90% of it come from the Congo, like specifically. So that's where they extract it from. So like any device, whatever. And so when we look, and so that's why it's so important to study in outside of where we live, because we have to understand that, if Africa closes door right now, the world we see today will suffer, because all these devices we have, cell phones and computers, laptop, GPS, whatever, that mineral actually come from the Congo. And when you see a nation that is so rich with minerals, but the people is poor, we know something is wrong. We see it. You have to be really naive to not see that. Like, what I'm saying? You have to be really, really naive. And it's just crazy, and it makes me sick. And and now you have these other group of people, Asian people, they're coming into Africa. 10 million people are in Africa right now. 10 million Asian people right now. So if we don't get a grip on this, man, is like, and they understand why. They understand why. I mean, they know the minerals and everything is there. That's why they're there. They're not there because they like us. I mean, they're not there because they want to help us. They understand. They're just taking a page of white people doing it. I did to us, and they're doing it in a more strategic way. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's, it's crazy.
So let me ask you, as far as what's going on here in the United States, we just saw, the likes of the female twerking on the drive-through window. We just saw her jumping into the restaurant demanding ranch sauce. We just saw the other girl tearing down the store. So I want to ask you, in your opinion, what do you think perpetuates these narratives? What in their mind basically tells them that it's okay to behave in this manner?
Self-love, because when you love yourself, you don't act like that. That's the number one thing. Because I mean, I love myself and I cry myself with a certain set of pride and dignity, like, the Melanin King, I am. Yes, I understand the word black. We just use it for political reason. I get it. I understand. Like, you know what I'm saying? So but self-love, most definitely, because if you don't, and we have to remember this too. We reach a certain level of consciousness, and when you change the way you think, it changes the way you act. When you change the way you act, it manifests in who you are as a person. A certain light come on in you, and people could see that. So certain people, unfortunately, who look like us, they will never, we can't save them. We have to understand, like, they're too far. They are so basking in this European slum, what I mean? It's like they can't even get out, like, because that's not who we are, right? That's what the white man created. Like, I mean, we didn't create ourselves, or we didn't manifest, manifest ourselves to be like that. That's the doing of this cracker. So when you see white people like black people acting like that, dying us, right? They just thinking like on a low level, a low vibration level, based on what they have learned and perpetuate from the white man. So we have to understand. And I realized a long time ago that we can't save everyone. And I mean, and there's kings and queens, and obviously there's thoughts and there's horrors and all these other people. So we have to separate, and we have to understand who is who. So those things, I can't be bothered trying to save everyone. I mean, you have to want to save yourself first, and you have to love yourself first in order for you to make that change.
So I want to make 2 points. One is basically that goes back to the self-hatred that you were talking about. That initially, I do think it was perpetuated by the European, because if you really think about it, from the time that we're born, all that we see are white images. Okay, from the time that we're babies, subconsciously, when you look at the Gerber commercials, we see white babies. You look at the toddler commercials and Pampers, white babies. Okay, when you see everything in magazines, it's reflected as a white world, really. You know what I'm saying? So it puts that subconscious thinking in your mind that you are basically here, you're inferior, and anything that you see opposite of you is the superior. But then when you get of age and you start to realize the truth, you got to basically undo all of that thinking. And I think so many people have not undone the thinking, and they love to hate people that look like themselves. I don't think they love themselves. And that goes back to one of me and someone that I was talking to. We were talking about when you have businesses and they don't like to support one another. Okay. And another thing I wanted to tell you too is you have a very strong aura. around you too, a very strong presence. It comes through the screen. So I noticed that about you. But yeah, so we don't like to support one another.
Thank
So
you.
this,
Thank
yes,
you, Queen.
yes, indeed. And
Appreciate
so
you.
this,
I always did from day one. You know that.
thank So this is why it's so easy for people to get in fights, people to pull out knives, guns, rob one another, stab one another, doing all these things. But just like you said, even with like Putin and Russia and all of that, it's European against European. They have done some of the most heinous crimes when you talk about bombs. Okay, there are not many melanated countries that you know of that has access to bombs. I don't even think Africa has a real army compared to the other countries. So we have not bombed up the planet, but they love to hate one another, and it makes no logical sense because the power is really in the unity, not in the divisiveness and the division. What is your opinion or your thoughts on that?
Most definitely. Well, this is what it is, and I mean, it's simple to me. Like, I mean, because this is just off. Like, I mean, this is off the dome so easy for me. Um, when a people has been named, raised, given a language by a people, you don't think they adapt their behavior to as well? Of course. So everything based based on our edification, growing up, like you say, you seeing how this white man is acting. That takes a part of you too as well. And if we keep sending our kids to school to be taught by this white man, well, guess what? Most of our people are going to come out thinking and acting just like him because for some reason they feel they set the barometer for what life is. They don't. Just because you in power, it doesn't make it right in the things that you do, right? Because when you have respect and certain things, and you don't need no one to fear you or to be scared of you, whatever. That power come like automatically in the way how you live your life. So when you want to gain power by fighting and killing and stealing and doing all this kind of stuff, it's not. I mean, it will always have a chaos and unbalanced way on the way how we look at life. So when our people is seeing this, we thinking this is the right way how to act and behave, and we living in Rome, right? Not literally, but everything we see the Romans doing, because this whole construct of Catholicism and evangelical with religion and all this kind of stuff, this is a Romanistic blueprint. This is all these people. That's because they're just up in suits and tie, whatever. They still have that animal, wicked cave kind of way. That's just who they are. We get fooled because, oh yeah, they might be a little bit polite and speak well and well shaven and well dressed, whatever. Look at their deeds. Don't look at how they look and how they speak. Look at their deeds. Show me how their deeds are. What I mean? America have been a country for what, 46 years, something like that. They've been in like 230 wars. That's crazy.
That is
So we have
crazy.
to understand. I mean, you could say, hey man, I'm the greatest country, and America is the greatest, and people jealous of us. Look at your deeds. Just look at your deeds. Sometimes you don't even have to tell anybody like anything or prop yourself up. People will just look at you and they could see who you are.
Absolutely.
Right? Look what I've done around the world. Look at what I've done around the world. They went around the world and rape and pillage and steal and do everything. So you can't prop yourself up and call yourself great when your whole history is saying something else.
Well,
so where we see that we behave in that kind of way, and we have to change in the way how we thinking and do things, because I know the Jews doesn't send their kids to Germans to go learn. They teach their own kids. So we can expect to send our kids to school to learn by this cracker history, and expect for us, and we expect for them to think like us. No.
So Sabrina said, I'm sure others look at us like we are terrorists. And I agree, Sabrina. I think that, I remember even back when I was in school, elementary school, middle school, they always used to push the narrative in the social studies books that they said America is the quote unquote army of the entire nation. He said that America was like the police of the world. And I used to think to myself, even at that age, like, who told the United States that they're the police of the world? Who gave them that title? And why do they think that everybody is supposed to basically submit to them? It didn't make sense to me then. It doesn't make sense to me now. And I just don't understand why people think they're supposed to just rule and take over everything. What is the big thing about having all this power and control over people, over the land, over the territory? You want to rule the world. You want to be the creator. You want to be God, basically, if you could. And so I just don't agree with that. And I think that a lot of things that are taking place is going to backfire on a lot of people, because I don't think that they can continue to keep getting away with this nonsense and this madness that we keep seeing playing out in the planet. It's ridiculous. And as a result, we are suffering. The animals are suffering. The environment is suffering. Do you understand how many trees they chop down every single day? Like, I actually feel so saddened for the trees. Like, I was telling my mother, I said, a lot of the area from where I reside right now was a lot of forest, a lot of trees, a lot of greenery. Every time you turn around, they have land for sale, acres of it is for sale, bulldozers bulldozing down the trees, animals on the side of the road, roadkill, deer. Like, all these animals don't have a home and don't have a territory. And all of this is in the name of capitalism, because they want to basically cut down everything and make money. When you have so many buildings that you should basically be trying to reconfigure right now, there are so many boarded up places that they could actually turn into something that is far more suitable for the community, but yet they'd rather chop down the trees. What's good, Solar God in the building, everybody? Shout out to Solar God. Y'all say hey to Solar God.
Peace and love to you. Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, you see, we have to, when I study history, I don't just study our history. We have to study this white man, because, a lot of our people don't understand. We have to read The Art of War. We have to read that book. I have several copies of that book in my library, and I have one on my bed, because I keep reading it to get an understanding that in order to defeat your enemy, you have to know your enemy. Why you think this white man have black people such in a perpetuate state? Because they know us, they know what color, they know what kind of music, whatever. We need to do the same thing too, because that's the only way we could defeat our enemy. The Art of War shows you that. You have to go into books that is boring. You have to go into all kind of white books and say you have to read their material, because you have to understand how these people think. Because I always tell black folks, I say, when white people do something crazy, which is every day, they're like, oh my God, I'm so surprised. I'm like, don't you know this white man? Don't you know who he is? Nothing don't surprise me, because I know exactly who he is. I read on him every single day. I know his history. We still in 2022, black people is like, oh my God, I can't believe you do that. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Right? I'm not surprised. Like they acting so naive, you know what I mean? Like they like it's surprised. I mean, like you don't know this white man. Yeah, don't study him and see. Like, you know what I mean? They you know, they come and knock on your door and like, oh my God, yo, I didn't see that going. I didn't see that coming because I mean I thought you were so nice. You know, I know some of them is bad, but no, all white people. Robert G. Mugabe, love that ancestor. He said, the only white man I trust is a dead white man.
All right, Black Revolutionary, look. And you know, we can get into it, but for the sake of my channel.
Okay, cool.
Because no, the only reason I'm saying that is, you know, I welcome you to say whatever you like. I don't care.
Yeah.
But I just
but we're not saying anything. But we're not saying anything too crazy.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? We speaking the truth, and we're not calling on we're not calling out or like slandering anybody. We speaking the truth on certain things, right? But I hear you. I mean,
I just had a bot come in the channel in the chat earlier when you didn't really say much, but just so that you know, this is why I have other channels, because what they like to do is they like to bombard my chat with robots, and then when I start seeing a lot of them come in, then they like to try to, you know, strike my video, take it down, threaten my channel. So that's why I'm just saying, you know, but you're
I understand.
saying. It's just that like our whole rights of freedom of speech is being taken away. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, we're using their platform, but we're telling the truth about them and they don't like it. So, you know, we get attacked for that, as you can clearly see, unfortunately. But everything you say is very accurate. I mean, we already know what it is, definitely. So I'll just drop the link. If anybody else wanted to come up, you're welcome to come up. We can have, I think, up to 10 people on the panel. And you know what I'm saying? It's always a pleasure to have Mr. Black Revolutionary in the building. You know what I'm saying? Got the black fit.
I feel, you know, I get turned up, you know what I mean? When I have, you know, I love my people. I mean, you know, the great Dr. John Henry Clark say, you know what I mean? You have to have a romantic relationship with your people. I love my people. So when I see injustice and I see what people being like this, you know what I mean? That's one of those things I can't turn it off. I mean, that's just my passion. And you know, whatever consequences come in my way, man, I'm willing to deal with it, because we all gonna go out someday, but I mean, I want to go out where I'm doing the right thing, like, I mean, and I mean, I'm standing on the right side of what we're supposed to be doing. So I mean, you know, I will die by that. So that's what it is. I mean, we in critical times right now. I ain't got no time to sugarcoat certain things, whatever. Yeah, we have to understand the algorithm and certain things we have to say, but we have to speak, man. Like, we have to speak. I mean, when we look at all the great ancestors within the last 50 years, they had criminal records. They had the government looking at them. So hey, ain't nothing for me. Hey, man, we got to make some radical changes. You know, that's just how it is, man. We got to turn it up. We got to flip over the apple cart.
I agree, but you know, when we start saying things like this, they want to call us radicals. Then they want to have the government, FBI looking at us. You know how it goes.
That's
like,
I heard what
talking about behind the scene. Like, you know, they even have the government tapping into our phones, tapping into our internet signals, all types of things. They watch us. They do gang stalking.
But what you gonna do? Because at the end of the day, Queen, no matter what you do, they once you have cell phone, once you have this, they track everything. I mean, recently I have like Spotify, and it's funny because every time, like, I played in my car, like most of the time, and every time I go in my car, it sent me a message and say, "Oh, so you're going for a drive now? Okay, so here's a list." I'm like, damn. Oh, you know, you're in my car. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? So, but this is what we choose to. We choose to have these devices. We understand how the technology is getting greater. So what you gonna do? We have to, you know what I mean? We use it and we want to be so-called revolutionary. So what are you going to do? Just be off the grid and expect to get your message out? So it's just one of those things. We have to balance it out with something, right? So,
Yeah.
so like you know what I mean? You know, talkie like, yeah. I'm here north, east, west, up in the country. Yeah. You guys hearing me? like you know what I'm saying? You know,
I mean,
so
you know, there are people
it is
that
what
want
it
to.
is, man. We
It
have
is
to.
what it is, y'all. And there are some people that do want to live off the grid, and I can't blame them. I think what we need is we need a healthy combination of both. We need the radicals, and we need the people that live off the grid. Because if everybody is radical, then everybody knows, you know, and you should know because you read The Art of War. Everybody can see it coming, right? But if you got some people over here, some people over there, which way you gonna look? You got to be watching everybody. You know what I'm saying? That's how they bombard us. We don't know who is who. We can't
Yeah.
trust anybody. You know what I'm saying? F your feelings,
So
because it's F your feelings Friday, y'all.
it's true, right? And you got to remember, it all depends who's using the word, because the word radical actually come from the word radix, and radix mean social change, to change something. White people, right? These Caucasoids, they like to use radical against us, but they're killing people in all across the globe. That's not
Look.
radical. So what? I mean, I'm white and I said so. I'm gonna use it to describe or to demonize a certain set of people. Radical means certain change. So if we are in a position right now where most of our people are suffering, we need a radical change to change our situation. So we have to understand what it is, because white supremacy, you know, they don't control what the word means. We understand what it means to us and what it means, and we can never be like them. And trust me, I don't want to be like them. You know what I mean? We up here, they just because you have power, it doesn't make you great. Your greatness comes with the things you do and the way you see people.
We got to think, how do people
Huh?
get their
Sorry, go ahead.
how do people get their power though? You know what I mean? Because now you remember what was his name? Gaddafi. You remember Gaddafi? So it is said that Gaddafi was able
Yeah,
to
of
walk.
course, Muammar Gaddafi, yeah.
Right. It was said that Gaddafi was able to walk freely amongst his people, but the alleged presidents here are not able to freely walk amongst their people. Why is it that they need bulletproof vests, bulletproof cars, security guards? Because you're not doing the people right. You're not doing
Let me
just by
tell
the
you why.
people.
Exactly. And we have to remember, go study Muammar Gaddafi. He was a Pan-Africanist. Look at his flag. The flag alone of his country will tell you red, black, and green. Libya flag, right? But I digress on that. He had, when he was running his country, he had no debt. If a person, if you know, a man and woman started to get married, whatever, I think he give you I think like $25,000. I mean, if you have a baby, I think you get $5,000. You go to school for free. If there was a program that you wanted to take in Libya, and Libya didn't have it, he will pay for it, you know, in another country. So we have to understand, we can't look at the narrative of what the West have been saying. And you have to remember, the reason why he was assassinated by United States of America is he was trying to unify the dollar to get a one currency like for Africa, and back that with resources and minerals in Africa. If he was able to done that, the currency of Mother Africa would have shoot right up, and every dollar, United States, Canada, the Yang, the British, the pound, whatever, all that would have just plummet. So he had to be taken out. That was the reason why he was killed.
It's sad, man. It
You know what
says
I mean? And he was
say,
working. Go ahead.
October 20th, 2011, Libya's Muammar Gaddafi was killed, man. That's sad. That's hurtful.
Yeah. 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 He did really, really love African people. Look and go really read up and study him.
Mm-hmm. And you know, do you remember not too long ago, the Haitian president was also assassinated. And unfortunately, you know, it just makes me think that this was an inside job by the United States. That's just how I feel about it. Like, I think he was set
Yes,
up.
of course.
Yeah.
100%. This is the book from the 70s from him. You know, it's an old book. It's a hard cover.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, one of a book about, I mean, his story and I mean, his revolutionary for change and for his people and stuff like that. It's a great book. It's a hardcover. It's hard to get. And it's just one of these books. Yeah. So it's called Gaddafi and Libyan Revolution.
Mm-hmm.
I
And
mean,
this was
a great book still.
This was a nice looking guy too. I'm gonna share my screen again. With the Haitian, I mean, like they are taking out some of the best. You know, look at this leader right here, this strong melanated man right here. I mean, how in the world do you let him get assassinated? I don't understand it. I don't get it.
Well,
yeah, and
you have to understand. You have to understand what America and France and other European countries have done to Haiti for 2 centuries. So we have to go back. That's why I was saying from before, we have to know the history of certain things and the players, so we get a better understanding to the people and stuff we're dealing with, right? Because when you look at the Constitution that was written by Jean-Jacques Dessalines in 1804, you have to understand that that is a very pro-Black, Pan-African Constitution. You know, anybody get a chance, you have to read that. I mean, like, obviously, they have it in Creole, French, whatever, but they have it also like in English. You have to read it and you have to understand why
what's the name of it?
to the I'm sorry?
What's the name of it again? The book?
The name of what? I'm sorry.
You said we have to read this book. What's the name of it?
Oh, no. I was saying, no, you have to read the Constitution.
Oh, okay.
The Haitian Constitution. Yeah, the Haitian Constitution by Jean-Jacques Dessalines.
Okay.
Right, yeah, and we understand why for 2 centuries they, what they're still doing to the Haitian people right now. You know, we have to understand, because after Jean-Jacques Dessalines was assassinated by someone in his camp, like, obviously, you know, I mean, who was siding with the French, you know, other people who was kind of close to him, you know, they kind of put their tails in between their leg, right, and kind of bow down to the French, and the French basically put a tax on them to pay back reparations for them losing, because it was the only African nation, enslaved nation at the time, that rise up and whoop 4 super power countries, right? They didn't have no guns, whatever. They They understand, they had that African way of mind of thinking, because enough of them, they still speak the language, whatever. And they beat Britain, America, France, and I think it was Spain too as well, and whoop the ass. So much so they end up bankrupt. They bankrupt France, and France did own some colonies, in the Gulf Coast, and they had to sell enough of the countries back in order, because they wanted to take Haiti so much. It's called the Louisiana Purchase. So when you look at that, so even to even look at the Haitian Revolution, America became, a bigger country just based on that war alone, because France had to sell their colonies. So it's just to show you how powerful that is. And these people had to pay a colonial tax, for France to leave them alone. And I think the last set of payment was in 2013, 2014. So for 2 centuries, little Haiti. So people, when they're talking about how Haiti is poor and all kind of stuff, we have to understand who is saying this, where this narrative is actually coming from, because that's not true. And of course, you will have this religious nut saying, oh yeah, it's because of voodoo, whatever. Every African person that came off the boat, their spirituality was in something, in voodoo, in Eurasias, in voodoo, in Paya Balombe, whatever you want to call it, Obia. That was our spirituality. We didn't have no religion, right? That's just how we live, and how we pay respect to the ancestors and stuff like that. And so when these white people want to deem Haiti as poor and all kind of stuff, look at what France and America have done to France, and look what they're doing right to Haiti, and look what they're doing right now. So we have to understand, that's the reason why we have to study these things, and we have to study our people and so we could see right up to this day what have been taking place.
True.
And they only put puppets in there that control.
Basically, you're saying
go ahead.
You have to study from where you come, so you know where you are today, and understand why you are where you are today. So I definitely believe that. Also, Veracity Exchange TV said this: money controls all. If they want you, they will get you. They'll get your own people to set you up for $1. What are your thoughts on that? Because
most definitely, and that's the reason why that, I was saying is like this: Black people who come to me, or who just wanna, they just say they're down for you. You don't just get a pass just because of color of your skin, just because you're Black. You have to be psychologically and mentally Black and pro-Black for your people, because we have to understand that we have people who walk among us who is white supremacy, little dominions, and they will do anything to set up, because you see, it's very dangerous, because we can see the obvious enemy, but most of the time we can't see the enemy coming, that looks like us. So that's the thing. So we understand that there's always been infiltrators, and with people who looks like us. So we have to understand that.
And also, Sabrina says they force Christianity and they demonize all other beliefs and cultures. Absolutely right. So who made it right for us to have to be a Christian, to believe in Jesus, all these things that they told us we have to believe? You know what I'm saying? Who makes this right and who makes it wrong? It doesn't make sense, because it was all made up by somebody.
Yes, and that's the reason why when we stop living in Rome mentally, we understand everything, that white people say or do, this stuff doesn't bother me, because I understand they have to say that in order for them to survive. We have to live out of that. We have to have a mindset now that we not living vicariously through those people, because when you do, you start to think like them, you start to do everything like them, you start to act like them, and you go against you get off cold, and then after you go against what you're supposed to be doing. And so it doesn't surprise me. They will do and say whatever they have to say, whatever, but we have to remember, we are the first people on the planet. Let us start acting like it. That's all I have to say. These people.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, okay. No. It's okay. Yeah, these people, they will, say whatever to appease or to say, okay, I have power. I run the news cycle and the news and internet, whatever. That doesn't mean nothing, because when you hear a lie and propaganda so much, that becomes true. So you have to realize and decipher where it's coming from. And these people, they have no history where they can be trusted with anything. So why are you jumping up the window and believing what they say now? So just because they say, okay, this is good for us. No, just because you say that doesn't dictate my thoughts. We are the first people. How you could come Johnny come lately and tell me what is best for me when I was here first?
I'm telling you, everybody, we thank you so much, I say, for your your insight, your wisdom, your history, your knowledge, and just for sharing all of your insight with us. I always thoroughly appreciate that. I want to welcome Solar God. He's joined the panel, so I'm going to give him a chance to speak. What's good, Solar God? How you doing?
I'm great. What's up, y'all? How y'all doing?
Man, look, it's F Your Feelings Friday.
Peace.
It's crazy just listening to some of the things y'all were talking about, because I remember saying how the entire time Hillary and Barack and the crew, they wanted our Gaddafi gone, because of what you were actually saying, and these people loved him, man. They loved him. They loved this guy, but over here in the US, they focused on showing him as a villain, right? But if you saw any of the news stations over where they were, it was a different story. This is why I say you can't trust what the news shows you, because they are always being deceitful. You know what I mean? From like just on a regular basis, their whole entire goal is to control the narrative. So the fact that the actual funds for the US and everything would have plummeted, like he was saying, like that was their entire thing. I mean, because the natural resources from over there trumps to everything. So it was just kind of crazy to hear that he brought that up. Thought that was kind of dope that he was aware of that, But it's Friday, and it's everything right now is kind of interesting that's been going on with they had I don't know if y'all saw the interview that they had with Vladimir Putin. Like, I'm like, hold on, so you mean to tell me you're sitting here telling people what you're gonna do and nothing, you know what I mean? And it's okay. You basically on live TV saying that you're gonna hurt people, and to an extent.
So I heard he made some type of threat.
Yeah.
Okay, and the threat was to the effects of you about to see something that you've never seen before in your life.
Right, and I'm like, yo, that's crazy.
That is crazy. So, what do you think these threats are all about? I mean, what are we about to see? Some aliens or something?
I mean, I think it's all BS. It's a more or less a reason to steal money from people's from the stock market to cryptocurrency to inflation. Every time they want to do something, they always find a way to distract the entire population. And this right here is one big distraction. So right now everybody's focused on that.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what I call chaos theory. You know what I mean? Like it's you always, the way that they can control everybody is by creating chaos, right? And while they're creating chaos, they always are doing some things that they don't want you to see behind the scenes.
Oh, absolutely.
And
What do you
so,
think they're doing behind the scenes?
I mean, there could be, that's a whole entire long list of things right there.
Yes, it is.
The whole, I mean, I definitely think they're going to fake an alien invasion soon. That's
I
definitely
believe
coming.
so. I believe so.
They've already kind of shown, like, in different areas where they've had like some sightings of some different types of UFOs.
Mhm.
And the funny thing though about the whole UFO thing is that they've had, remember, like, they actually had all of the files sealed for a really long time, and then they finally released all of the files. So you can literally like go in and find the files for every reported sighting, right? And surprisingly, out here in North Carolina, like, there is this is North Carolina is one of the top rated places for sightings of UFOs. And most people don't even know that.
How many people have seen a UFO, an alien, or some type of sighting? Because they always want to make us sound like, oh, y'all crazy if y'all believe it. You know what I'm saying? They try to pass it off as a myth. But I have spoken to people that have seen some stuff. So
Oh,
I'm the type
oh
of person
yeah.
this. If you tell me you've seen something, who am I to tell you that you're crazy? Because I wasn't there.
No, it's real because I remember, and this is to this day, like, coming back from Norfolk State. Me and two of my best friends were coming back from Norfolk State, going to Richmond, Virginia, and we got lost, and we was like in Charles City, like that's like the county, it's like
Mm-hmm.
the boonies or whatever, and like at that time they closed gas stations early. They didn't have where you could like use a debit card at the pump, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we were actually going, we were lost. We were actually just on the road, like, and we saw like this big. I mean, like, I ain't never seen nothing like this before in my life, and it was crazy because we saw this big ass like UFO, like, just sitting in the field, floating or whatever. And the crazy thing was is that none of us had any alcohol. Nobody was drunk. Nobody had smoked or anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm on the passenger side, so I'm the closest to it. Like, and my my friend that's in the back, she in the back seat, like, tripping, like, yo, what the, like, everyone was just like shook, right? And I was just like, yo, don't stop the car, bro. We ain't doing like you're doing in the movies. We not investigating nothing. Like, you got to keep driving because if you stop, I'm running all the way back to Richmond, bro. I'm not trying to find out what's in what's over there. That's just crazy. And to this day, like, they still scared to talk. They don't even like talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we bring it up and like they still be shook. Like, they don't even want to talk about it. And I'm like, yo, y'all sure we didn't get abducted or nothing, right? Because I don't remember losing no time or nothing like that. But I was just like, that was just the weirdest thing ever, yo. I was like, yo, I don't believe this, man. And then, like, one of my friends that stayed in DC, she actually recorded the UFOs that she caught, and that actually went viral. That was on the news out there. And then another friend of mine that stays in California, her relative caught the UFOs out there on footage as well, like, and that went viral. So, like, the whole entire thing, man. Like, now I don't, whether they are actually actual aliens from a different planet or whatever. I don't know if that's the case, but we know the government got like all kinds of like devices that they've created to look like alien spaceships because they got aliens. You know what I mean? What's his name? Phil Snyder. I think Phil
Yes.
Snyder that broke it down, and we see what they did
Yes.
to him.
Yes, y'all. Let's not get into Phil Schneider. I don't know how many people, y'all? I gotta put you on. Please check out Phil Schneider. I'm gonna put his name in the chat, y'all. Like, he be going. Phil Schneider went in. He went in.
So
So
it's
yeah, so the people in the chat are agreeing. Sabrina says she's seen some weird stuff in the sky here in North Carolina. Veracity said aliens are real and they walk amongst us. Yes, they do. They
Oh
do.
yeah. Oh, let me. I don't know, like the. So I was the weirdest thing I saw, since I've lived here was, and it was just weird. I was in Walmart one night, and I'm going into like the self checkout line,
Mhm.
and out of nowhere, like this old white lady just walks up to me and starts talking to me, right? And I'm telling you, like her eyes was not normal, yo. It scared the crap out of me. I was like, yo, what is what is going on, yo? Like she had like I was like, yo, is this shit she like one of these reptilian type because I know she ain't had no there was definitely not no contacts that she had in her eyes, yo. It was just so weird. And she was talking to me and telling me about her family and stuff and just out of the blue. And next thing I know, I looked and she was gone. I was like, where'd she go? Yo, that shit was weird.
Mhm.
So North Carolina got a different energy about it. I'm telling you, like it's just the energy here is like completely different.
Hmm. It's crazy, y'all. You know what I'm saying? I just think that there are other beings that live and walk amongst us.
Right,
It's been too many stories, too many different accounts. People have shared too much, and it's like at this point, how can you deny what's really out there? And VETV was just saying, just go camping in the middle of the night, look up at the sky, and pay attention to what you see. Like I pay attention to the moon. I'm really attuned to like the stars and all types of stuff. And sometimes when you look up there, you will see like something moving, something flying. And like that doesn't look like an airplane way up there. You know what I mean?
right.
So what is it?
No telling, man. And you know what's crazy? Like if you ever there's sometimes like if you ever really look at the moon and depending on the type of moon it is, it looks like somebody just like it's like a weird like it looks like an eyeball like somebody's just staring at you like
Mm-hmm.
and I remember like they had a story where the army found a giant in one of the caves
Mm-hmm.
and this public record. I can't remember exactly where it was, but they found the giant and they supposedly they killed this giant and they have the records of the actual event when it happened.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, it just imagine like, and then think about what's underwater, right? They had
Mm-hmm.
this guy, I can't think of his name, but like he works he works in the sea, like, and he's always recording videos, and like he actually had I don't know if it was a mermaid or a siren that was
Mm-hmm.
like literally following him, like she was basically tracking him, and he actually took footage of her in the water, like, and they showed it. As soon as that went viral, guess who showed up on his boat, his work boat? The government showed up. They was actually asking him questions, and they was
Yes.
checking the boat,
Yeah.
and then guess what happened to him?
What?
He almost died. He got in a
Oh,
mysteriously had
look,
got in a really bad car accident. He's okay now, but it was just weird. His car was totaled.
that's crazy.
I'm like, yo, that is wild. Like, and you could hear the whatever. It had to be a siren, or I don't know if mermaid. It looked like one of the two,
Mm-hmm.
and like you could hear her like wailing. She would every time like no like clockwork with him. Whenever he went out there, like after the first time he saw her or it or whatever you want to call it, like it's been tracking him, like, and that was just crazy, man. I was like, yo. Imagine, think about Antarctica. Like everywhere, they don't even want you to go in Antarctica. Like you can only go a certain extent as far as travel when you go there because they got a lot of stuff over there that they hide. You know.
Right. That's crazy. But and I just feel like who deems them to give the overall say so of what territory we can explore when really this planet's supposed to belong to all of us. So who
Right.
told you that you're in charge of Antarctica and we can't go there? We can't dwell there. We can't see what's under the ice. Y'all, it's all types of secrets they are hiding from us. This is why I don't even watch the news. I like to watch documentaries because that's where you get most of your information from, is like with these little behind the scene things that nobody else is paying attention to. That's where the truth sometimes dwells and lies, where nobody else is looking for it. But anyway,
Exactly.
we got Mr. Say. He's back in the building with us. Thank you so much for being able to come back. What happened to you?
I don't know if you guys could hear me. You guys sound really low. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, for some reason, when I came back, like right now, like I'm hearing it like the volume is really low. I try to turn it up on my phone, and it's funny because I try to get on my computer the first time, but for some reason, I couldn't find your live on a laptop for some reason. So because I have the notification, so when you come on, like it pops up on my phone, right? But I couldn't find the live on my computer.
Oh, that's what YouTube does when you start dropping gems and talking about some deep stuff. They'll do that on purpose.
Oh yeah, can y'all still hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So yeah, like I was telling him earlier, Solar God, I don't know if you were here with us, but he was touching on some really good stuff. And like one of those bots came into the chat. And so already I knew they watching, they're listening because this is what they do. And when you get inundated with these bots, basically what they want to do is flag, strike, do these things to your channel if they don't like what you're saying. But that's not gonna stop us because we have a mouth and a brain, and that's what I say over here. Brown Girls Are Beautiful. The panel and the floor is opened up to you all, so you can speak your truth and your reality. You know what I'm saying? I just don't want to get the channel taken down, but I think it's very disheartening that our constitutional rights are being infringed upon in such a way that they are. Everywhere from like our right to bear arms. Well, we can't even find like artillery. We can't find bullets. You know what I'm saying? If you go and try to get bullets, it's hard to find. Why is that? They want to disarm the people, but they're the ones that's supposed to have, basically guns and weapons, and we can't have anything to defend ourselves. We can't have a right to free speech, and it's getting so out of control.
Right. It really is. Like that's the whole thing. They want absolute control. Like, and that's why I'm like everybody that got the you know what, um everyone that took that took that sacrifice and got the you know what, like
Yeah.
I I was just actually had a conversation with a friend of mine, and like she was asking me what my take was on it because she got it, and I was just like, man, everybody has the choice to do what they feel is best for them, but I'm like, how can you trust a government that's never had our best interests at heart ever? There's been no, I mean, all of the evidence that we have from history, when you look at the things that they've done to us, the experimentation that they've done to us, that they still are continuing to do, and they've cured nothing. But when you got holistic health professionals that have went to them with remedies saying, hey, this works, like this, I saw one doctor that was like, she took to them the remedy that she used because she used that her remedy on someone, and it got rid of that thing in like a matter of like 3 days completely. Like the person went from being sick to being great in like a matter of 3 days. And she was like, when she took that remedy to them, they were like, no, we're not gonna use that. When we know why. It's all about money. It's all about money and control. But it's just like, if you got that type of stuff happening, and then if you think about Dr. Sebi and all of the other doctors that have actually went to them and say, hey, this is what I've done, this is what works, here's the evidence that it works, and they choose not to use it, that should tell you alone right there that they don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Like they don't care.
Right.
So how can you trust them when you know that they have a track record, right? They have a track record of what they've done and what they've allowed, and trillions of dollars have been spent for all this research. And I'm like, come on, man, you ain't mean to tell me y'all haven't been able to cure nothing yet?
They don't want to cure it.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? They don't want to cure it because they make money off of people being sick.
Exactly.
Sabrina said,
oh yes,
go ahead.
Sabrina is on it. I'm telling you, like like, yo, I can't. Matter of fact, I don't know if there's a way for me to share the link to the story, but they
Mhm.
had I think in like a span of like a matter, I don't know if it was like a year or a year and a half. I
Mhm.
want to say the number is like 150,
Mhm.
if not more, that they took out, and like most of all of them were made to look like suicide. So you know what? She, oh my God, she ordered, yo, that's crazy. I'm reading her comment, yo, yeah, that's, and the fact that that happened and nobody did anything about it, and you had this, there was a white news reporter that actually did a one segment on it that I saw, and she was literally bawling, like she was crying her eyes out, and she was like, "Why isn't no one talking about this? Why isn't anyone doing anything about this?" And that was the only time I saw it, and I was like, "Yo, this is something that should be a nationwide viral news." So like, what kind of programming are they algorithms are they using to block that out? Like that is crazy. So it's wild, man. Like the fact that we as a people aren't united enough after what we've seen and how they've treated us, something is wrong with that, man. Like if you think about, if we really, like you were saying earlier, the strength is with us. We have the numbers. So if we actually united, man, what could they do? What could they do? But that's why they work so hard to keep us divided, like, and make us our own enemy, like when it's really us that should be running all of this.
Mhm. And that's why they have to keep us distracted because they are terrified. Like if we wake up and we recognize our power, we recognize who we truly are, the divinity that really flows within us, and we really start acquiescing into our power, like they cannot stop us. That's why they have to poison us with the food by way of these
Hmm.
doses, that they try to force us to get by way of the water, the chemtrails, every way that you can
Right,
think of.
right.
I mean, basically, we're under attack from the time we're born.
And you know what's funny is like they have to know that there's something more powerful that exists within us that we don't know about.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you really think about it, why
Much.
would you work so hard 24/8, not 24/7, 24/8 to poison us from every avenue possible, from the water to the food to the air? I mean, there's nothing really, honestly, nothing that you can touch that isn't polluted at this point. So unless you really like living out in nature and you away from all the BS, like it's you really, we all contaminated to an extent. So like I keep thinking to myself, man, there has to be something so powerful that they know, because they've been studying us for like forever, whether we really realize it or not. They've been studying melanin forever, trying to figure out how to destroy it. They haven't figured out how to destroy it. Like they've tried doing everything from burning it to using every type of scientific tool that they actually have access to, and like it's still no luck with it, right? But now they're using it in technology. I'm like, I didn't even know that this until recently, that they were using it in computers. I'm like, wow, really? So it makes me wonder, like all of the kids, all of the young black kids that go missing, all of the black women that go missing, black people that go missing, like what are y'all doing with these people? Like where, outside of trafficking, what I mean? Like where are these people going? What are they doing with these people? And I'm just like, yo, it's so wild, man. Like if we actually, and I think they know this, if we actually woke up completely and realized what was going on, and we actually you truly united, I'm talking about we put aside all of our egos and we decided we gonna all work together no matter what for the greater good, man, it would be a wrap. It would be a complete wrap. Like they would, you talking about, they would be so shook. They already shook now. I mean, look at what they're doing. They shook now, but if we really, I'm talking about, if we really united, yo, like if gangs stop killing each other and everyone just said, you know what, that's it, yo, we gotta unite for good, and like we gonna really do this, yo, we would take over the world and change it for the better if we wanted to do that. But that's gonna take everyone putting their egos aside and actually being with it. That's why they didn't like Malcolm. You know, that's one of the main reasons why they hated leaders that actually could sway people to actually do something and stand up for themselves.
Right, we got Mr. Osei is back in the building. How you doing? You okay over there?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I could hear you. The volume is much better. I think it's the phone because this is the first time I did something like this on the phone. So that's the reason why. So I had to reset my phone. I had to shut it down, close down whatever in the background, and I had to reset it, turn it off and put it back on, and it came back perfect. So yeah, that's what's up. Yeah, but that's the veggie back. What the brother was saying. Um, you know, when I was talking about we need a revolutionary change or something radical, it have to come with us. And you got to remember, white people always think that they have a guilty conscience of when we say we want to do something, they are thinking we're going to be like them. We could never be like them. We don't have the capacity to be the capacity to be that evil and wicked, because that's not who we are in our nature. Most of us become like that because we live vicariously through these people, and these people raise us literally. They educate us in the schools and everything. So yeah, but we could never be like them, and we should never want to even utter the words to be like them, because I mean that's not who we are, right? I mean, and yeah, I mean, in order for us to do that, something radical in the mind have to change for us, the kind of thing. And Garvey said over 100 years ago, we could change our situation in less than 24 hours if we just unite and just do the things necessary for us to be one. Like, I mean, for us to be on one accord. All right. And we are so divided. We are so divided. And just because we are living in Rome, we are eating Rome food, we are watching Rome, television and news and everything. So we are heavily being affected by that. So how can we live in our essence as the first people on the planet while we are living through somebody else? That's impossible. It's impossible for us to do that. Yeah, enough of us. Yeah, we try to get away from it as much as we can, and it's still a battle because we have to deal with them on a daily, and we have to use the device and use this and go to this. So that alone in itself is it takes something in us very revolutionary for us to make that change, because we can make it through living and listening and being educated and watching in every aspect of what is white man have on display. We can never do it like that.
So in the terms of currency, I see Veracity Exchange put up here, the damage has been done. That's why they created money. Gold is the only true currency. To Solar God and I say, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, like gold, I feel like, I mean, gold is one of the best forms of currency. That the issue is that you can only carry but so much gold around, right? Like that's with almost anything. You can only carry but so much of it around. So if someone has a whole lot of gold, for example, like not with current times versus past times, like what are you gonna do? I mean, you're gonna have to have an army to guard that gold, because if not, then everyone's coming after that. And then even when you think about it, with trust issues nowadays, like you would have to even be careful, because your own people, it's always your own people that betray you. So we have to figure out a way to not really necessarily value material items as much as people do. I mean, and if you think about it, that's always been one of the downfalls of humanity, like valuing material things, material items. Like most people spend most of the money in this world is spent on material items. You know what I mean? Like when you think about like look at how like entertainers are all with it. That's pretty much all you see them in, right? That's what they feel makes them who they are. And it's really it's really silly because I'm like, yo, think about this, right? You take every rich entertainer that's ever touched $1 million, right? Versus them blowing that million on jewelry or 2 or 3 million, whatever they spent, Bentleys, all of that, right? If they would have invested, let's just say they invested that into crypto, all of them would be billionaires. You know how much power that would give them? Do you know how much power if more of us actually became billionaires, the right people that had the right intent, then we could actually impact change. You know that unfortunately money rules the world, but that would be one of my ideas. If I had access to all of that, I would be like, yo, we the main ones. Like we buy Gucci, Fendi, Louis, all of this, and most of these designers don't even want us wearing their stuff. And I'm like, so we buy this just to show them, okay, we can afford it. No, you create your own, you build your own, you build your communities up. You know what I mean? So it's to me like I used to be like I ain't gonna front, like I was one of those like that was into a lot of material items. Like I had to be the best dress in the room or have the newest shoes, all that. I still have a shoe fetish. Don't get me wrong. I love shoes, but I've toned it back. Like, and as far as like jewelry and all that, I'm like, to me that's silly. Like I wouldn't dare waste my money on that crap anymore. So, but our spending power like is crazy. Like remember when we stopped shopping down south, we shut the mall down because we were the ones that decided we know what, we're not going to the mall. We're gonna stay out of the mall for I think it was like a couple of weeks. And like when that happened, they had to shut the mall down because they weren't getting any money. They weren't getting any revenue because we are the ones that spend our money and we are the ones that help make the wealthy wealthier. So we gotta figure out like how to apply that differently. Like we need to be buying up land, you know what I mean? Like that's what we need to be doing instead of spending it on, other things that really, in my opinion, have a value, but what can you really truly do with it? You know what I mean? Like, because if we go to war, like ain't much. You can't run around with a lot of gold in your backpack. You can carry a limited supply, but you got to think like somebody. It's always gonna be somebody trying to backstab you or rob you. You know what I mean? So the focus needs to be weapons, preparation, and buying up as much land and building as much as we can. That's
Shout out
my
to,
thought.
um, thank you so much for that, Solar God. Shout out to Sean and Stone Cold P. They are in the building, you all. Just wanted to say hey, acknowledgement to y'all. Gold was never intended for materialistic purposes. We don't have pure gold. That's what Veracity Exchange said.
Makes
Um,
sense.
I mean, hey, a lot of things is just trickery, y'all, to make us basically value certain things over the other. But when it comes down to it, you know what people really going to value when it comes down to it? Water and shelter and the necessities that we need for our lives. That and natural resources that we can utilize for living purposes. That's what's really going to matter. Because if we were to go to war, if everything came tumbling down upon us right now, a piece of paper that said $20 on it, when you got a fire in your backyard and you hungry, what you gonna do with what you gonna do with the $20
Means
bill?
means nothing. You're gonna have to
That's
burn that to keep yourself warm, like that at that point it is. And it's funny because like I was thinking about the movie Demolition Man and I was like, yo, that's what we're gonna end up being, because if you really think about it, man, like look at the amount of people that are homeless that continues to grow, right? And I'm like, at some point, like people are gonna get tired, man, and like people once people are to a point where they're gonna where there's more people that are actually homeless and have nothing left or nowhere to stay, and they're hungry. When somebody get hungry enough, man, it's a wrap. They going after whatever they can put their hands on, you know. So yeah, we should be valuing the earth, man. Like that's why they hated MJ, man. He was always talking about like just loving people and like saving the earth, and like this man was demonized, yo. But that's how they do good people. You know, they always try to take the people that are actually doing the right things and destroy them, and everybody follows up, unfortunately.
I
So
miss
yeah.
I miss MJ, man. I mean, the whole industry is different now without that shining star, that light. I mean, he was just the most talented. And I was telling my mama this the other day. We were talking about Michael Jackson. He touched, I don't know anybody else that could touch generations. I mean, 4 or 5 generations. I was a Michael Jackson fan when I was like 2 and 3 years old. You all, no lie. It's pictures of me in a photo album book, and I have on a Michael Jackson t-shirt. I used to love Michael Jackson. My nephews love Michael Jackson. They were not even around when Michael Jackson was living. Like, how do they know about him? They just saw him on the screen and they love him. Okay. So, how many people do you know in this world that can transcend that many generations across the globe? You all, he was known on every single continent. That speaks volumes.
I mean, this guy, this it's just I just think it's funny that this guy could get on stage and stand there and not say anything, and people would be screaming and just falling out. Like I was just like, yo, that's unreal. It's crazy. It's
This is,
crazy. But we
yeah,
definitely like. I mean, like we definitely gotta figure out like a game plan. Like we need to more of us need to unite and like come up with a game plan and actually apply it and stop just talking about it and actually do it. You know, and like it's gonna take more of us. It's gonna take all of us, honestly. Like if we want to see change, we all have to really say fuck it and do it. Stop
absolutely.
talking about it, be about it.
Excuse me. Ooh, and yeah, Veracity was talking about the fact that that's how they get weapons and resources. Gold. Look at ancient times. Look at today. The people of power, country to country, take all the gold and they give us currency. Yeah, over, and I think it's the UK, London. They have vaults and they have gold. What do you call them? Gold nuggets.
Oh
Um,
yeah, yeah,
and it's all locked away over there.
right. Speaking of vaults, like the seed vault where they got like almost all of the organic seeds stashed away, and they allow only certain people to access it. You know what I mean? Which is kind of weird if you ask me. I'm like, who gave y'all the power to? I guess we did because we didn't do nothing about it. So like, who gave y'all the power to take all of this and then to give us all this BS, all of this fake, all these fake fruits and vegetables? You know what I mean? Like, but again, we so we are some of the most obedient people that I've ever seen. Look at everything we've been through as a people that we continue to go through, and we stay remaining obedient. I'm like, yo, I'm sorry. So I'm like, yo, I'm sorry. Like, and I'm not even a violent person, but if I had children, because I've been harassed by cops, I've been through it. I've had guns pulled on me. So if if I had kids and somebody and one of them killed my child, ain't no, I'm holding trial myself. Ain't no waiting on the justice system because they never give you justice. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, we are so obedient. Look at what they did at the Capitol over Trump. You think we would ever have the gall to even attempt to try that? Like, nah, we wouldn't do it because we obedient, man. Like it's crazy. Like it's wild, man. And then you hear gangs, all these gangs that talk about how they go hard, but you killing each other. You doing exactly what they want you to do versus actually doing what you should be doing. protecting the community and uplifting the community that you stay in and building. I don't want to see that. If that ever happens, man, I'm telling you, man, it's gonna be a wrap. But it's gonna take people actually, you know, putting aside their egos and actually saying this. We're gonna actually do this.
That's right. Look, and Sean was doing the moonwalk. Hey, Sean, look, I was right back there with you. I probably wasn't moonwalking, but I was doing some dance moves back in the day.
Oh, I used to try to hit all that, like the moonwalk, the what's the little the toe what's the little toe stand that he would do?
right, with the
All
white
that,
socks.
right? Yeah,
Right.
man, him and Prince, man, two of the best ever to ever do it.
Mhm. Yashan said the government is not fair to us melanated people. It's not. I mean, it's just what it is. It's not fair. It's probably never going to be fair.
You know, and like at some point we running out of voting power. You know, people don't even realize it. Like the times that we've had to actually utilize our power, we haven't used it. We never get anything. We still continue to vote. Like I as of this point, like I don't care about either side. Like I'm not Democrat or Republican. I'm independent at this point. Like I don't trust any one of them. They all friends behind closed doors. So I'm like, we should have been had an independent party that we put, you know what I mean, in play that actually wants to do right by us.
Yep. Stone Cold Pete said, F the government, it needs to fall. Veracity Exchange said people in today's time only follow celebrities. If they don't speak unity, it will never happen. What's good,
Yeah,
I
that's
say?
funny.
What you got to say about this? I see you just chilling in the background.
I got so much. I got so much, and oh man, I didn't want to start because you guys were touching the whole sort of thing. But with in what the brother was talking about in the government, you see, we have to understand, right? You can't keep doing the same thing and see in history. We have to learn from history, and we can't keep doing the same thing and expect a different result.
Facts.
When you create power within yourself, you don't need to vote. Look at the Asians in in the United States and even here like in Canada. They don't need to vote. Their power alone, is their structure of unity, and and it's something that will sustain them. You see, these Democrats and this Republic clan has been, the two parties that basically they unify to one bird. They unify to one America. And and we have to understand those parties was actually put together, when we didn't have no say. So how can we, try to participate in a government that was even the structure and the foundation wasn't even built on you? And when you look at, and I advise everybody to go and look at Malcolm X Bullet and the Ballot. That's one of his greatest speech where he breaks that down. The ballot or the bullet. That, I mean, like, I love Malcolm X all speech, but that one really hits home. And we need to go. People need to go and revisit that and really listen to what he's saying. I mean, these two parties doesn't have our best interest. People have to remember the Democrats before JFK, most black people was voting Republican because of Lincoln so-called freeing the slave, right? So-called. I mean, that's
BS.
another story or another thing I could get into. That's like a 2-hour thing with me, but I don't want to get into
Right.
that. So a lot of people switch over to Democrats. We have to remember, same people who was spraying holes and dogs in our people, those are what the Dixiecrats. The Dixiecrats was worse than the Republican, right? People have to remember this. This is who the Dixiecrat or the Democrat Party is actually made of is really radical Republicans. People have to remember that these people in them was worse than what we call the Republican today. And because I know the whole JFK and B. Johnson in the cases and all that. So a lot of people went over to Democrats. But what have these people have done to even move the needle one iota for us? And Black people keep voting is because of their family and their uncle and their mom, whatever. They have no real, they have no real reason or policy what they really read and go after to say, okay, yeah, I'm gonna vote for that person. And I don't care if you're Black, white, Chinese, alien, whatever, but it has to have interest in mind. Black people just vote just because they are accustomed to voting or their family vote this, whatever. That's an oxymoron. But I will say, once we unify as a people, you're talking about how much money we spend. Black melanated people in America spend $1.3 trillion a year. How about people who have 1.2 businesses in the country spend more than everybody else who have more businesses than us? That is crazy. So don't tell me, and I always tell people always, oh yeah, well, we don't have the money. Black Wall Street, they didn't have no celebrities, they didn't have no ball players, no rappers, whatever. This was just melanated people working hard, putting the money together to make something, and they build 8 to 10 blocks of businesses, everything, theater, shopping, department stores. They had nightclubs. They had two planes. They had a bus line. They had a cab line, whatever. So you trying to tell me with access to all this money, all this capital, we can even do something remotely close to Black Wall Street and the other ones that was around America? We could. It's a mindset. It's not the money. It's a mindset. So once we get out of living vicariously through this white man and we realize that what we have in common, is this enemy than all the mundane things we fight about, then we will understand that we really need kind of thing. Look at the whole George Floyd thing. Did we needed a bill passed for us to go vote to change how certain things went, whatever? No, we just need to turn up, and we just need to just do things in a different way in order to make change. No voting laws have moved us one iota. And and these people, even when we go to their court, their justice, their handwriting, their pen, their paper to sign something, do you really trust the white man? That you think, if he signs something, he gonna actually see it through? Come on, man. We gotta know better than that. And and we dependent on our oppressor, the people who still killing our people to try to help us. That's crazy. We gotta help ourselves. Right? Dr. John Henry Clark said that ain't nobody coming out of the sky, ain't no Jesus, whatever, ain't no white man, ain't no Chinese. Nobody is not gonna save us. We gotta save ourselves.
Right.
Save ourselves. Straight up. I'm sick of it. We 60 years we have been loyal to this Democratic Party. Show me what they have done. You could shut me up. Anybody could shut me up right now and just show me what they have done tangibly. I'm not talking about symbols. You put out a statue and give us a Dr. King Day. That is symbolism. That ain't moving us one iota.
Not at all.
People is all they're like, okay, amen. You know what? We're gonna make Juneteenth a holiday. How is that moving us forward? No, that's a holiday for white people to get off. so they could have a
Right.
good to on our expense. But yeah, we're gonna shut up these Negroes and let's give them a day. We're not gonna give them anything tangible. We just
Right.
gonna say, okay, we're gonna give you a day. Come on, man. How long we have to go through this to realize we being fooled? Like, what I mean?
Right.
We want tangible. We don't want no symbolism crap. You know what I mean? Amen. Amen. How many Dr. Martin Luther King Boulevard you see with crime on it right
Right.
now? So miss me with the symbolism crap.
Absolutely. And what's so funny is all of the time, every time something crazy happens, whether like the whole George Floyd thing or whatever, or us fussing about getting laws and bills passed, right? They always seem to come up with something to distract people from caring about what was actually originally supposed to happen. And you know what happens? Everyone just goes along with it because of the programming. I'm like, yo, you mean to tell me that all this stuff happened with George Floyd, right? All these promises that were made, and then when it comes time for him to deliver, I'm gonna call her Cam. Him and Cam. Uh, Nothing. She vanished. Matter of fact, you really heard hardly anything from her, right? And then I'm like, but then y'all talking about Juneteenth, all this other BS. But then you turn around and you like, okay, so you're gonna take funds, you're gonna pass legislation to provide refugees money, right? And then you're gonna turn around and the whole thing with the whole agenda narrative they put in place with black hate on Asians, and I forgot how much they gave them, but he actually signed an executive order in a matter of like a day.
Listen,
Past that, cut the check. Nobody said a thing. I'm like, are you serious?
yeah,
Come on, bro.
I gotta speak on that just for a little bit. And it's so funny that you mentioned that because we have had anti-black racism the day we were kidnapped and brought here. And we could go down the list with the redlining and Jim Crow and and all this stuff, the lynching and everything, right? We could be here all week discussing this. And these Asians had some little thing about discrimination with the thing started over in China, blah blah blah, and a couple of people attacked them, and they just jumped right in front of us and they signed a hate crime bill for us, for them, and they haven't done like anything for us. But like I say, why are people so surprised? It's deliberate, right? Like in your face. We still scratching and begging and think we overcome. Power, when you begging people for power, they will never respect you. We are literally begging. We see when they sign the hate crime bill for the Asians, these people were in a killing field in the South with us. These people went through any redlining, any Jim Crow law with dogs and hoses, all kind of stuff. These people went through any stuff like that. How they could jump right in front of us in a year, and we have all this anti-black racism against our people, right? And we still asking we still asking what's wrong. No, what's wrong with you asking what's wrong? Because you see what's wrong.
Right. And the crazy thing is that when you talk to a black person about deserving or just about reparations in general, everybody's always like, oh, we're not getting reparations. We don't need reparations. I'm like, but just look what they just showed you a prime example of. They can cut the check. They could actually do it in a matter of a day. They have the power to do it. They've just shown us. That was one, to me, that was like one of the biggest signs of disrespect that I've ever seen, is for him to do that. And then when you go back to when he said, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black, and nobody seems to feel disrespected about that. I'm like, yo, did you see Biden's track record of what he did against our people, and everybody all of a sudden is cool?
Joe, 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 the bigot Biden have a track record of going back in the 70s with the busing, you know, in the 80s with the cocaine and crack 100 disparity, in the 90s with the crime bill where he called which he called Joe Biden's law. This guy who your president, your black president, I mean Obama, choose for vice president. He have a track record going back over 50 years, 40 years with our people. So we have to understand, like this. I mean, it's crazy how, like I said from before, people are so surprised. Go look at his record. He didn't want black kids to ride on the bus with his kids in the bus. And go look at that when he was in his 30s, in his late 20s, early 30s. So this guy have a record. And I mean, and he's the old man. So what you think, I mean, you're gonna vote him because if black people always say, well, you know, though, I'm gonna choose the best out of two evil.
Right.
How about you don't
choose
evil at all? How about if you don't choose evil at all?
Exactly. Bro, that's crazy. I've been saying that. I'm like, you know what's so funny is you get better independent candidates that rarely get votes, that rarely get opportunity to actually debate. Like I voted for Jay Simmons. I don't know if any of y'all know who she is, but when I went to the polls and I voted for her, like, you know, they check your ballots or whatever before you when they're not supposed to, but they try to peep at your ballots when you're putting your votes inside the ballot box. And like they was looking at me real funny. I was like, yeah, I voted for her. I'm like, I'm not voting for neither one of these guys. Say something.
It's crazy. and like I say, we are fooling ourselves because show me what have changed. And you know, I mean, if we're going to continue doing this for another 50, 100 years and we realize that the things ain't changing, we have to learn from history. We have to study history and learn from history to know what to do in the future. So if we try, we compare, we did this, we vote, we do whatever, and we see it ain't working, why continue do the same thing again? You realize it's not working, so it's time to try something new. That like you know what I mean? I don't understand, but we are conditioned. I mean, our people is just conditioned, whatever. They just conditioned just to do something. You know, I mean, if they send somebody black and they talk slick and they all kind of something like, hey, you know, Obama was the biggest trick bag ever. You remember? Yes, he's a black man. A lot of people get fooled by that. Oh my God, yeah, he's black, blah, blah, blah. He working for a white corporation. The structure is white. The policy is white.
Facts.
I mean, like, what is not to understand? Bro. The structure of America is white. He's in the White House. White.
Bro, if y'all familiar with eugenics,
yeah,
and if you look up their agenda from back in the 1800s, like what their intentions was, what their outlines are, they've been running that same playbook ever since then to present day. It's just evolved and gotten better, but one of their primary objectives was always to use three things against black people: the church, someone with charisma that was black that they could use and they could prop up as the Obama, Martin Luther, all of that, and then to kill off our population. And if you think about Planned Parenthood, abortion is probably the biggest. We have more of us that die from abortion than if you look at the numbers. And the reason why that happens is because when they realized back then, when the numbers were close, when they were actually keeping track of race population growth, we were actually outgrowing them because we were actually able to have kids and actually having kids at a faster rate. So they was like, oh, we can't have this. We gotta nip that in the bud like ASAP. So that's when they started doing whatever they, felt they needed to do and
We
start
have
putting
to.
their game plan in place.
That's true. There is a report that came out. I think it's. I think it's came out under Henry Kissinger in. I think it's 1976, 1977. It's called the global report. The global 2000 report, and what they were realizing, even in the late 70s or mid 70s, that the population of white people was diminishing, and they say in the year 2000 there was going to be at a zero minus rate, and I think it came, before that. I think it came, I think, a year before that. So they kind of projected, like, based on the birth rate of they they reproducing and stuff like that. And when you realize white people would only make up less than 7% of the population, so that's why when you notice, like 20, 30 years ago, you had all these people, who had all these experiments, and scientists who was trying to make babies and create babies and those kind of stuff. I mean, that wasn't for us. That's white people. I mean, we have no problem producing at all. And of course, yeah, they did all kind of stuff in Africa to sterilize man and woman and all kind of stuff. But yeah, their population, because their genes is very recessive, they are not producing. They more white people every year now is dying more than they're actually producing. So,
Right.
we understand the reason why they're turning up. They you see, once the people back up, back against the wall, they will do any madness. They will tear everything down because, and no matter who is in it, they will tear everything down just to prove a point. And this is the people we're dealing with. So you have to understand where they stand. So, and it's funny. One more thing before then you on. I think I posted something on this about a year and a half ago, where in some states, what state it was, where they make abortion illegal now, and I'm like, wow, that's so funny, because they're trying to run with that campaign, and it wasn't for us. They was telling white women, hey, you need to start having babies. So I'm like,
Right.
you see how things is. So all of a sudden now, okay, yeah, woman could choose whatever, and they're like, no. They say with incest, rape, or even with incest or rape, you have to keep the baby. If you get rid of the baby, it's illegal, whatever. So now they are doing they're doing anything. They're desperate for, so little Becky and little Karen could have a baby because they understand where they're at.
Facts. And you know what's so funny is, and this is just a prime example of like all of the experiments that they've done on melanin, they have not been able to figure out how to destroy it, right? But at the same time, even with future forecasting, they still the numbers still show that we're going to outgrow them in population by, I forget, I don't know if it's close to 2050 or somewhere along those lines. So they've been trying to implement everything still. That's why they're pushing back so hard, and they're implementing all these additional things, like, and that's why so many black men are locked up. And this is why the whole culture is pushing towards the alphabet crew. I don't knock nobody for their choices, but this is why they're pushing that entire agenda, because they know if they can turn more
Yes,
men, if they can turn more men to the other side of the tracks,
black men,
less babies being created at that point.
Yes, of course, and that's very interesting that you bring that up, because it's like they have done everything, and they realize that, hey, it don't matter what we do to these people, they keep coming back. And so now this tragedy, of course, because it study us, it's changing on how we have to make these people sterilize and do all kind of stuff. They do all kind of experiment. They created AIDS and all kind of stuff. Yes, they created AIDS and they created all those diseases, because those are not functioning disease that actually mutate, just in nature by itself. I mean, it was produced, but wherever they do, it always come back to them. And like I say, we are the first people on the planet. We are destined to be here. The first shall be last, and the last shall be first. So wherever we do, we just have to just be, in essence, do what we need to do, and what I'm saying, and things will take a course, because this white man, he can't win. Even with his advantage, he still can win. Even with all the money and the power, they're still dying, and we're not even doing anything to them. You see how crazy that is? They are
Right.
dying because of the way how they are, and we're not even raising a finger to do anything to them. Imagine if we do. Imagine if we get a little bit of leverage. So that's what they're scared of. So
Right.
you could have a people who is claim to be so powerful, so mighty, this, that, all that kind of stuff, and they can't even control their population. Their population is dying, so they can't even do that. And we didn't have to do anything. We just had to sit back. And you know what, though? If we just sit back and just exclude ourselves from this white man in society, they will just fall like that.
Yeah, it'll crumble for sure. Most definitely.
That's all we have to do. It's that simple. We just have to say, man, you know what, though? We ain't doing nothing white today and for the rest of the year and for the rest of 10 years. And you will see they will just fall by themselves. They need us to survive.
Yo, you know what's crazy is anybody that's been black that speaks on or tries to elevate us with economics, they take them out. Like, and as soon as that's where Dr. King started to pivot, when he realized that he was being used, or they was like, oh no, he got too much power. We can't have that. We can't have that. So it's Dr. Claude Anderson's been preaching this forever, man. Like, just like until we get to the point where we actually build a legit economic base for our people, and we actually corner the market by getting into every single industry and creating our own and building that up and supporting that. I mean, think about it. Like, if we're spending trillions of dollars every year, if we actually created our own economic structure across the globe, and that 1.5 is just like every other race does with their own people, if that is circulated, that will continue to grow. We will continue to build. And then at that point, just think about, just like when before the whole segregation piece, when they did the Black Wall Street, everything that happened. Look at how faster we were excelling. We were actually doing better than them with a smaller group of people focusing on only us. And I'm far from racist. I love everybody as long as you respect them and respect you. But if you really look at it, look at what we're always able to do with so little. Imagine what we would do with a lot. Like they fear that, yo, and that's their biggest fear is, if we ever realize our true power, if we unite and we figure it out, it's over. I'm telling you, man. Like, we have so many intelligent people in our community, man, that are not being used properly, or that are not actually applying their gifts because of all the negativity, all of the programming. You got to think, from the time that
But
you're a
in,
child, in most cases, you're told that
Mhm.
you ain't nothing, you ain't gonna never be nothing, and you got negative energy around you constantly. So to think of the impact that has on somebody from hearing that from the time that they're a child through their teenage years to their adult years, on top of the discrimination and everything else you got to fight against. Man, that's why I say, like, we amazing people, bro. Because, like, if you think about everything that we've been through and we continue to go through, and we still here and we still thriving, like, and we still doing what we do to the best of our ability with what we got, like, it's crazy. Like,
It's funny that you mentioned. Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that, because I always talking about that, of how great we are, and if most of us realize that, they will understand. I mean, like, our potential. Like, I know that, you know that, I mean, Queen know that. I mean, I mean, but the majority of people don't know that. And and I have to say something with the majority and minority, right? And I'm going to talk about population because we are the majority. But I'm talking about when coming to change certain things, when you come in to change a structure of society, I always have to tell people, when you look at history of every revolutionary change, is always a small group of people who end up doing it. Think about that for a second. People that think that we need all of us, that's uh, that's romanticizing it, because we know another, the majority of our people is not on code. So I'm not gonna sell that soap and think, okay, we all gonna be on code. We know most of our people is gone and they ain't coming back. We have to realize that. But what we have, and like you say, the smart one, the brilliant one, the conscious one, we just need to use that, to our advantage, because every situation, when you look at the revolution in Cuba, you have to remember Fidel Castro started with at least 10 people. He was up in the mountains when they was going up, and there was they were interviewing him and all kind of stuff. He gave the perception like it was hundreds and thousands of them, but the more he was fighting like the Bay of Pigs and fighting the Americans and all kind of stuff, he started gaining support. He started gaining support because he realized, people realizing what he was doing. And a lot of people, they just like to sit there and fold their hands and wait until things actually happen. Then they could kind of say, okay, yeah, like I'll join now and everything is good, because I was like, they were too scared to do anything. But now when they see shit happen, amen, all of a sudden they want to kumbaya. But we have to realize, every change in revolution, it always was a small group of people who made that change. Always. And I mean, and it's very important for me to say that, because a lot of people think it's like we need all of us to be in code. No, we need a few good men. Because I mean, I rather have 10,000 people strong warrior than to have a million and you have a bunch of them who sell us out. Like, I mean,
Right.
and who we want to fight. So it's like we have to be real with it, whatever. But yeah, man, revolution, it starts in the mind first, and it starts with the things that we are very serious. I mean, I don't think a lot of people are serious about change. I mean, they talk about change, but they ain't serious. I mean, they don't live that life. It sounds good to them. I mean, it sounds good. Yeah, they could go on, they could post a couple of stuff. I mean, and I mean, I kind of reached that point. I'm just kind of, and I mean, things is redundant. It's like we got to do something, because the kids who's coming after us, what they're going to be saying about us, right? What are they going to be saying about us? Because okay, we could quote Malcolm X and Dr. King and Caleb Abdul Muhammad and Fred Hampton and all these great people, fine. What are they going to say about us? That's the question. So what, we going to leave this nonsense for them to inherit? Because white supremacy having kids. The KKK, you see them marching in the 30s and 40s, all kinds of stuff in Washington. They had kids, right? And their kids had kids, and these are the people who we dealing with today. So the shit ain't going away.
That's facts. And the funny part is that it amazes me how easily they always find someone that's a weak link within a group that's actually doing something that's actually going to impact change, and someone always seems to sell out. They always manage to find someone they can plant. And I'm like, yo, how could you be so easily used, you know what I mean? Like, so easily used to betray something so powerful. Like, it just, I mean, it amazes me to this point that people still are at a point where they can be bought.
That's the reason why, my brother, that like I say, we have to learn from the past. We don't need no leader. We
Fact.
realize that leaders, because when you looking up for a leader and you put all your hopes and dreams and aspiration and whatever, and then after he's gone, you leave there hanging. We got to be on code. Everybody got to be on code. When we all lead what we need to do, you can kill our ideology. You could kill a leader. And I mean, Fred Hampton said, you could kill a revolutionary, but you can't kill a revolution. That's what it is. We got to be on code. So this one person you analyze, oh yeah, and we just gonna sit back and he's gonna bring us to the promised land. Come on, we've been down that road already. We've seen that. We got to be on code. All of us have to be on code. How can you attack a bunch of people who's on code? You can. And when everybody is on code, you don't know where it's coming from.
Facts. No weak links.
Hashtag no days off.
Sorry, Queen.
I said hashtag no days off.
Facts.
No days. Yeah. True.
I have thoroughly enjoyed all of your input, all of your insight, all of your expertise. I'm going to wind it down because we've been going for almost 3 hours now, you all.
Yeah, I see that. It's beautiful.
This is beautiful. I appreciate the build. Shout out to the chat, everybody who's come through and shown us all this melanated love, you all. And so before we leave, okay, because I already gave my testament. Okay, so before church adjourns, you all, we already gave our thanks. What we're gonna do is I want us to manifest, and I have a candle right here that matches. I'm gonna take a moment, you all. So first of all, if you have any testimonies that you want to share, please provide your testimony. I already gave mine earlier. And if nobody wants to come forward, offering their words of testimony, we're going to go ahead and strike this match. We're going to burn this candle into the universe, okay, for all of our manifestations for 2022. Okay?
The one thing I would say is when it comes to growth or evolution of any individual, like you really have to, the one thing that I've learned just from life in general is like, no matter what you do, no matter what your goals are, your dreams are, you're going to have more people telling you that you can't do something than you will have people that are going to support and tell you that you can do it. So you got to get to a point where you just say, fuck it. I'm going all in. I'm going after whatever I want. I don't care what anybody thinks, what anybody says. I'm going to make this a success. And you will be surprised, man. The universe always provides. When you put action behind what you want to accomplish, the universe makes everything work. It'll align everything exactly how it should be at the right time. That's my thoughts.
Amen. Is that your testimony?
Oh, absolutely. Because I'm building empires over here. So I'm excited about the future, and I just want to leave a legacy and an amazing impact for not only my family but my friends and my people. So
there you go.
It's gonna be beautiful. It's gonna be an amazing year.
I love it. Say any testimonies you wish to share?
Yeah, I gotta leave some people. I gotta leave you guys with some wisdom and some thoughts or whatever. And just to recap and close on what we're saying, we can't wait for no change. We have to be the change. You know what I mean? Whatever you're doing, you might think is not enough, but if we are all doing what we're supposed to do, once we put our people first, you know what I'm saying, we could accomplish anything. We be the change. You don't wait for no one, whatever. we need to do what we need to do. You know that, you feel it, you live it every day, and we just have to continue doing that. And once you do that, you will see how other like-minded people will come into your world, to help you manifest that together. You know what I'm saying? And that's all I gotta say. We gotta be the change. We can't wait for nobody. And while we be in the change, we will see like other people who feel and think and want to do exactly what we doing.
Absolutely. I love it, you all. With that being said, we're going to strike this match, everybody. We're going to burn this candle. And so we're going to manifest our dreams into fruition. Let me see if I can turn the light off, make it a little dark. Doesn't really matter too much. Okay. Go ahead. Okay. So hold on. Let me take this out. Yeah, I love candles. I've always been enamored with candles. So if you ever be around me, this is what's going on. I burn candles all the night. Okay, there we go. Shout out to Miss Melanated Chicks for the bracelet, y'all. She got me a whole bangle right here. You know what I'm saying? She got me looking nice. I'm glittering. I'm shining.
Beautiful.
I don't think she's on here tonight, but I spoke to her earlier. So y'all, this is our candle. So, you know what I'm saying? We're going to keep this burning all night. Okay. So go ahead, make your wish, manifest your dreams into existence. Okay. Now put this on the altar. Okay. I don't even know if you can see it, but it's burning in there. Okay. And with that being said, you all, we're going to close on out. I thank you all for joining. And until next time, this has been an episode of F Your Feelings Friday. And I'm always going to tell you, continue to walk in your divinity. We're going to close out just like that. Shout out to the chat and everybody who was a part of tonight and all of those in the future that's going to see this. Thank you so much.
Peace and love.
Peace and love to you. Oh, you know what I forgot to do, you all? I forgot to play our music. I always have a little music going. Look, we can't go out.
Take us out.
We're going to take us out.
Take us out, Queen.
We're going to feed the
Take
ducks.
us out right.
All right, y'all. Let me know. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
We vibing out, y'all. We feeding the ducks. Okay, y'all. Yeah. I'm in here. I'm in here. In here right now, right? Good. If you can sing along if you want. We can make it. I'm everybody. Not you and me. Let me stop. All right, y'all. All right, let me stop playing around. All right, y'all. We about to sign out. Blessings to you all. Signing out. You all have a lovely night.